Well, and that is going to determine who wins.
All right. Hello, everybody, and welcome back to On the Fly. And today we got ourselves quite the game with, you guessed it, Sweden and the USA. Obviously, it's going to be a great game, and we have it on tap right here and On the Fly. Going to be basically breaking down anything. Have any questions, drop them in the chat. As always, if you're already here, be sure to like, subscribe. Let me know who you think is going to win in the comments. We were live yesterday, and it seemed to have a pretty good correlation with your team winning. So if you're cheering for a team, make sure you pick them in the poll. It will help you a lot. But with that being said, be sure to say hi in the chat. Let me know who you are cheering for. And we'll get underway here in a couple minutes' time. We started today off with quite the game between, it was the Czechs and it was Finland. And in this game, it was just a back and forth game, like through and through, like a true game we've seen from these two teams, with the Czechs coming back. And it's just that true Czech effort, Finland goes up early, 2-0. Czechs battle back, 2-2. Then the Finns go up 5-2. Then, sure enough, the Czechs battle back, and they put, I think it was 6 consecutive goals up on the board. Final score today was 8-5, and it was just a true Czech effort. And it was just a great game overall. You can never count out a team like the Czechs, who do have a lot riding on it. Obviously, they're a team that does not medal very often at this tournament, but yet they still found a way, to battle through. Go Sweden! I completely agree today. Today we will be cheering for Sweden. Obviously, we are hopping on the trend. Anybody but the USA. And I mean, it's sort of what you have to do, right? It's just anybody but the US today. If you are cheering for the US, you are always more than welcome here. And if you are new, if you aren't having the game on, just a quick tip for you, put it like a side by side, or you mute that other game and just listen to me. It works too. That's how you do it. And if you have any questions in the chat, be sure to let me know. If you want to learn to do some tactic stuff, any of that. Obviously, if you have questions about any of the game that's going on, we're watching it too here. So it's sort of like a live watch party. We aren't allowed to put the game on because of copyright strikes. But I'm sure you can sort of hear the audio a little bit in the background. Try and put it just enough where you don't get in trouble, but just enough for you guys to actually be able to hear and follow along. But with that being said, we have quite the game going on here. When we look at the poll, you guys think 50-50. I believe that the other poll is a little bit less like that. I think it's probably a little bit more leaning towards the U.S., but I could be wrong since the last time I checked. So in the poll that was posted, it's actually 55% Sweden with 66 voters. Augustine will fight with Sweden to pull through. I think so. And I mean, it'll be interesting to see what kind of games we are back. We are back. And it'll be interesting to see what kind of game Sweden plays today. Obviously, if they play a game like how they played against Canada, they're going to do pretty well. And I think if they can just, keep them to the outside, play a disciplined game against the U.S., you just got to make sure that the U.S. doesn't get on their power play. They tend to start relatively slow until they get a high chance. So once they start rolling, once they score a first goal, that's when it becomes a problem. There's a good old expression, when it rains, it pours. And that seems to be what's happened in pretty much every U.S. game so far. So the trick today for Sweden is to keep the U.S. off the board for basically as long as they can. And when it does finally go in, just be ready for the onslaught, because it is coming and they're going to have to play their best game today. At the end of the day, Sweden is going to have to play their best game today to beat a team like the U.S., who is by far the favored team at this tournament. So we will see. Obviously, it's going to be a good game. And if you are new here, be sure to drop us and let us know in the chat who you think is going to win this game, as well as who you are cheering for, as well as hit the poll and all of that. But yeah, I think we got through just about all the intro. It's been a long couple day, a little bit of a day. I don't know. I was sleeping. I was in bed about 7 o'clock last night. Woke up at whatever first time game was today, 9. So nice and rested for today's game. Unlike yesterday, we were running on about 4 hours of sleep with a bunch of naps in between. But today, they like to put the game late, which means we got to sleep in. And boy, is it ever going to be a good game today. So definitely stay tuned. You'll get full reactions, analysis, all of that. As we're just about to start here, we got refs from Canada, the U.S., I think it was Czechs and Slovakia. There's not Czechs, Switzerland maybe? I missed it completely. It went a little quick for me. You know how that goes. Hugo Havlid is the goaltender for Sweden today. 4-0 record, 9.98 goals against. And I think it was somewhere in the 9s for a save percentage. And then you got Trey Augustine, 940 save percentage, 1.67 goals against, and a 3-0 record. Remember, the U.S. still to this point has not been beaten in this tournament. Sweden has been. They lost to the Finns in a shootout, in a meaningless game, I might add, as well. So it's going to be quite the game today. Be sure to stay tuned as we just about to get started here. Home ice advantage for Sweden. We'll have full analysis and all of that with the puck drop, which should be dropping any second now. Here we go. Gold medal game, USA and Sweden. What more could you ever ask for? Here we go. As Sweden is the team that wins the faceoff, so if you believe in superstitions, normally the team that wins the faceoff will go on to win the game. I'm just saying. TA will be mad when he gets cross-creased. Okay, Augustine, yeah. You'll see a lot of that from Sweden. Obviously, they're a team that likes to use their speed and their outside abilities as well as their strength on the corners. Go Bruins. There you go. That's what we like to see. We're just not cheering for the Boston guys today. We're cheering for the Swedes. Anybody but the U.S. on this one. Sorry. Anyway, how does everyone like my hat today? I thought it was a Go America. Well, we encourage you to keep cheering that on as you go along today. It's going to be a good one. It always is a good one, right? Whenever you have two teams to the caliber of Sweden and the U.S., you really can't complain. Oh, I love you too, buddy. And the Swedes get out to yeah, they had an odd man rush already to start this game. Good old fashioned 3-on-2. So we end the first minute of play in this game. We'll see how this one goes. This is going to be a good one. If you are new here, once again, be sure to turn the game on in a separate tab. Stay with us here. We will be going through all the analysis, especially if you're not going to. If you want to come back for the intermission reports, that works too. We'll be having a full talk about the games earlier today, as well as what every team needs to do to win. But nonetheless, we have a good start to this game. Nice and even by the looks of it. It's obviously going to be a tight checking game. I'd like to say that, but at the same time, that's what I said about the Czech-Finland game today. And sure enough, they put up 13 goals. And, that's what happens, right? 13 goals in a game and not quite tight checking, but it was still a great game. I mean, when you have two teams coming back and forth, that's what you're looking for. So just one of those games where it was just good, solid play all around. And you really just can't complain. What was the score? 8-5 for the Czechs. So basically the game went 2-0 for the Finns up early. Then it was 2-2. They tied up. It was crazy. And then it was 5-2 for the Finns. Czechs battled back, scored a late goal in the second in a shorthanded chance. So they scored on that one. Momentum went the other way, went into the intermission. And then, so basically 6 goals was the final tally in a row, consecutive for Czechs as they rooted Finland off. It was a great game, though. Finns can't hold a 2-goal lead. Finns can't hold any lead. It was just a rough game for them. So it was very similar to that of the U.S. game yesterday, where the Finns go up early, basically doing what they really haven't done at this tournament very often. There's Sweden fans are very excited for this one. You can see them jumping. It looks like the TV's moving. It's funny. Here we go. Solomonson, who was previously suspended. 1 game hit on the Latvia guy. I think that was our first suspension. It's got quite the game here. As always, be sure to like, subscribe, and say hi in the chat. Let us know who you're cheering for. That's going to be an icing one. USA looks buzzing. They do look like they're buzzing. It's honestly, it kind of looks like both teams are buzzing, though. Like, it's Sweden crowd's insane. Honestly, that's the one thing that I always love about watching this tournament in Europe is that it's just into their last chance. Yeah, no, I know what you mean. But European crowds are just ruthless, right? It comes from like the whole idea of the soccer teams, right? Where it's just a different culture up there as opposed to here in Canada, where it's a little bit more civilized, if you want to say that. I don't really think that's the right word for it, but a little more low key, if you want to call it that. Larimaki. Oh, I missed the net. Can't imagine the feelings of the Finns who had their last chance at a medal lose like that. Well, exactly, right? Like, that's got to hurt. I mean, that's what it becomes down to, right? Is it's just a tough loss. You blow a 2-0 lead and then another 3-goal lead, and eventually it just sort of hurts a little bit. Good little block there. Good play. Good play up the boards, and here we go. What you want to see out of this. If you're Sweden, you want to see a lot of dump and change, or dump and change, dump and chase, dump and anything. As long as they can get the puck in deep and use their skills, their low ends, like their body low area skills. Let's call it that. Good save. Oh, and we already got our first little fight of the game. This is going to be a chippy one, obviously. Two very good nations. First time for Sweden having yet another chance at the gold medal. Haven't won in about 11 years. So that's been a while for them. Before that, it was about 3 decades. So, if it's Sweden, they want to win this one bad. They need this one. As for the U.S., I think it might have been Braden, was it you that we were talking about the potential three-peat for the U.S.? Because honestly, I could definitely see that happening. They're a good team, and they're going to have some serious talent coming down the pipeline. So definitely make for an interesting. Yeah, and they definitely do have that chance. Like, I'd say more so than ever. Like, you just look at this team, and it's like, you think about all the first-round draft picks that they have, and how many of those players can also play again next year too, right? Got a man to score for the win. But and that's sort of how they play, right? It's very similar to the trap style. It's just a little bit more skillful in a way. Like they'll try and keep the U.S. out, but they don't necessarily keep it there. And probably have the first picks in 25 and 26. Well, exactly, right? Like it's still a little bit early to take a look at that one, I think. But at the same time, like you look at it, right? It's always going to be like that, where most of the time, at least, it's between the Russians, Canadians, and the U.S. for who has that first overall pick. And I mean, it's not going to be the Russians this year, just with everything that's going on. So definitely Higgins is no doubt the 26. Yeah, well, exactly, right? Like it's just that it's like a little bit far out to make that prediction, because there's always like a late dark horse who comes on and sort of surprises everybody at this tournament. If you are new here, be sure to like, subscribe, let us know who you think's going to win in the polls, as well as let us know who you are cheering for in the chat. Obviously, you can tell I am cheering for Sweden because my team is now out. So we kind of got stuck with that one today. But we're here streaming. All sad. We have to cheer on a team that isn't Canada. Swedes fans are crazy. I like it. I love it too. But this is what you get, right? When you go to a crowd that's European, it's just that much different of a culture, and it's just awesome. It's a cool sort of scene, right? Good play. Get moving. Got Wahlberg. Good. Oh! He hit the post. He hit the post. Oh, he hit the post with that one. That's a tough play. No, yeah, I know what you mean. That was he had the empty net. He tried to put it through his legs, just could not finish. It's a tough go. Good little play by I don't even know who it was. It's a good little move. Here you go. Up front, out front. Good. Oh, good play. Good attempt on that one. Just 3-on-2 headed back for the U.S. off the post. Good save. Oh, U.S. buzzing. We do have a 50-50 poll here. Swedes in the U.S. Go block. Nope. And they bounce it out to basically the point. They didn't get it all the way out, but they are pretty close. Good hit. That's what you want to see. Oh, looks like there's something behind the play. And no call. Didn't see what it was, but there you go. There's a hook or a high stick. The U.S. is going to be going to the box for what I believe is a high stick. Fortescue to the box. 2 minutes, I believe, unless they call the 4 for the blood for a high sticking penalty. As Sweden will get their first look on the power play. They've had a pretty solid power play in this. First goal will win. I honestly believe in that. Like, I think, it's just sort of the way these games tend to go. It's that belief in the system. The U.S. plays well from behind, I'd say. But at the same time, they're just who you for. I'm cheering for Sweden because I don't like the U.S. But yeah, well, it is a high stick at the end of the day. It's anytime a stick goes up into a face, they're going to call that a high sticking. You just can't get around that call. It's just one of those calls where you're going to always get buzzed for it. And, kid tried headlocking him with his stick. You guys are funny. We do have a 50-50 poll. This is probably the closest we've seen. We think back to that Canada one. Obviously, Canada was a little bit higher. And yesterday, most of the time, the U.S. was leading. Where do you live, if you don't mind? Right here. This is where I'm stuck in. I don't really have a team to cheer for, unfortunately. Just sort of a good old-fashioned toughie. So we're streaming for Sweden's sake today. Providing analysis, not so much live reaction, but at the same time, we are here for the good old-fashioned live reactions. So if you have any questions, tactical stuff, any of that, just let me know. They got to stop Lekkerimaki or the PP, but make someone else beat you. Well, exactly. That's what it comes down to, right? Like, they can hold Lekkerimaki off the board. Sandin Pellikka is another guy who I'm really looking for on this power play to step up. Okay, then you're on Mars, lol. I don't like to cheer for the U.S., so it's either I cheer for nobody or I cheer for good old-fashioned Sweden. So go Swedes. I wish I knew Swedish. I don't even know how to say hi in Swedish. But we'll see. Oh, good little move. Oh, good save. Augustine holds the door on the loose break. There's Lekkerimaki. Sandin Pellikka. Good. Oh, one-time save. Ola? Was that right? I thought Ola was spent. Oh, I guess they might share it. That's fair. Ola. We got about a minute left here on this power play now. I'd say it's a pretty good start for the Swedish power play as well as the U.S. penalty kill. Both have looked pretty good. They're both moving the puck around. The U.S. is keeping the Swedes out of the middle of the ice, which is what they need to do. Obviously, they want to try and avoid that bumper spot, which Sweden tends to play pretty well, as well as that corner side slapper. Here we go. Here comes the corner slapper. Yep. Oh, and he misses the net. Yeah. And you can sort of tell what Sweden's trying to do on this power play. Like, you can tell the U.S. goalie panics when the Swedes get a shot. Yeah, I would too, but that's also why I'm not a goalie. But it's also a lot easier when you know what they're trying to do, right? Because there's basically one of two plays that you get. Oh, good rebound. Good rebound, just could not finish on that one. So all right, let's run the old power play maneuver for them. So this is the Swedes power play setup, right? They have essentially two plays when you're looking at it, and the other play is just a flip version. So either they pass it here, or I guess they pass it there for the shot, or they basically move it to here, who then passes it to the middle, and this guy shoots. Those are basically your two plays you're looking for the Swedes. And then they also have their little point shot, which tends to be a tip or an attempt for a tip play. They don't like to run that very often. Just looking at some of the film from earlier, but those are basically what their two plays are going to be, what you're looking for on that Swedish power play. The U.S. plays a lot like, I'm not a coach, no, just someone who can't play hockey anymore and likes the tactical version of it. But you catch on pretty quickly because they like to run the same plays just because of stuff they're comfortable with. And you'll see a lot of backdoor plays, especially with the U.S. power play, a lot of tip passes, a lot of slap, in the middle of the slot area. It's very similar. The Swedes power play, at least, is a lot similar to, good little play. No, just got pushed off the puck. It's a lot similar to that of the Colorado Avalanche in the NHL, as well as the other one's the Capitals. it's sort of a mix-up of that. When you think about it, Ovi on that like side points a lot like Lecker who plays on that like corner side, looking for that one-timer option. But just like knowing I'm a goal, I got a doubleheader tomorrow, then a game at 7 a.m. and then a practice at 9 a.m. on Sunday. That's a tough one. Whew. See, I'm not a goalie, so I can't really. I was never a goalie. I couldn't play that, but I could definitely. Yep, the Ovechkin shot. Exactly right. Like you. It's one of those plays in hockey where you know it's coming. It's just you can't stop it. Like unless you place a guy on that outside wing. Like because when you place a guy on the outside wing, you just pull out another defender. Which obviously, if you're Sweden, you take because then it's just a 4-on-2, right? So, like or a 4-on-3, I guess. So the whole goal of a power play is just to isolate guys. And if you can isolate basically a player up top on the point man, right? Because the U.S. always will play a diamond formation or some sort of that idea. So if you can basically isolate the top guy up top, right? The forward, whoever it might be on the top side, as well as the guy in the corner, then it's really just a 3-on-2. And you'll always take a 3-on-2 in tight. Well, we have reached our first commercial break. So if you are new here, be sure to like, subscribe. Let us know who you think is going to win in the poll, as well as who you're cheering for. Let us know that in the chat. And also be sure to stick around as we will be doing some analysis stuff, as well as how they're playing. If you haven't already, turn on the game. Obviously, this isn't streaming the game. If you Google World Juniors, it'll pop up. Just so when they come to Toronto, because I'm from basically the Toronto area, I'll try and make my way out to games. I'm also in school right now, so I don't get to go to a lot of them. But this tournament has lots of shots over the glass. They do. The boards, I think they were saying were I can't remember how much shorter, but I think they said probably about a foot shorter than the NHL boards. So a lot of teams are used to higher boards, right? So you think about it, when trying to dump the puck off, you're used to shooting it at a certain height so that it bounces up and over. It's a little bit more difficult here because you can't get it as high. So anyway, so when you look at it like this, right, their general power play, this is what the U.S. basically will try and do if they're trying to isolate players, right? So you have basically this guy normally will tie up the point. And you get either the diamond from them, which is like this, right, where essentially these two guys are boxing out these two, and this guy in the middle is protected from passes because of these two guys. Because the whole goal of a power play is keep the puck out of the middle of the ice and prevent people from getting isolated. And if you're trying for Sweden, you're just trying to do the opposite. So if you can get, for example, okay, Toronto area, I'm from the Maritimes, love Montreal fans. Oh yeah, well there you go, eh? Like I can't say I have a lot of love for Montreal myself, but hey, at least it's not a Toronto fan. Because nobody likes a good old-fashioned Toronto fan, do they? Right? Like, so 8:40 left in the first period here. 0-0 score. It's been a good game so far. We'll hope that they can keep it going. In the polls, you guys seem to think 54% for the U.S., 46% for Sweden, with 26 votes. So if you have not already, be sure to vote. I don't know what they're cheering. Oh, that's okay. Boston is great. Honestly, they've played really well, and it's one of the nice things about this team, right? Is that it's just they're not the best on paper, but where they make their money is in their ability to more or less play the puck and do all these things, which is really it's a really special team, right? They stick to their structure. They play good hockey. What a flop after the whistle from the Swedes. I don't know who it was. I'll be honest, I didn't catch it. But it doesn't seem that there was a call, so should be okay. Shot. Saved by Hafstead. Oh, and here we go. See, gotta love gold medal games. Whenever this happens, it always seems to be a fight between these two teams. Where did the other board go? Oh, it's over here. Do you hold a grudge against Tampa, or are you neutral? Like as a Bruins fan? Or are you asking about the Habs guy? Me myself, no, I don't. I never hold grudges, except against the U.S. in international hockey because I do not like them. Yeah, no, I don't really hold a grudge against Tampa. Honestly, Carolinas tends to be annoying. The Islanders tend to be annoying, but I don't like. It's nothing really that personal with Tampa. They've always been a good team, and if you're gonna go on and win the cup, I can never be angry about losing to a team that wins the cup. It's when they choke it at the end. Canada fans hold grudges on the U.S., especially this decade. He smacked him around all. Yeah, no, that is 100% true. And I think I'm prime exhibit A, if anything. And for whatever reason at this tournament, it's really interesting. So Sweden's taken on the "Hey Baby" song, like "Hey Hey Baby," like that one, which used to be Canada's goal song. So one more reason why everybody in Canada is now cheering for Sweden, which has been an interesting sort of thing. Sweden and the U.S. I'm trying to put up a little scoreboard here. I don't know if it's going to work. I guess we'll see. I'm not sure if this will block my face out, but if we go like this, I guess it won't fit, but there's got to be a good way for this. Give us a second here. Got to go, but I'll be back. Yeah, all good. Be sure to say hi when you do come back. The players found that disrespect with what their play, didn't do too much about it. Yeah, well, gotta love the Canadian game. Yeah. Oh, Canada at this tournament killed me though. The one team that they just couldn't find it. However they played, it was just sort of that tough end hockey. You just couldn't find the gap that you're looking for and just sort of pull it off. But you know what? It is what it is. The Czechs played a heck of a game. They earned every second of that win, and I mean they were pretty close to this gold medal game too. It was a good bounce for the Swedes, and sure enough, they found their way at a futures bet for Sweden to meet in this game. I don't mind. I don't mind who wins. I cash in. Yeah, it's a good call. Honestly, this game is just one of those toss-up games, right? So it's good move by Casey. Shot. Oh, good save. Good little save there. Honestly, though, I know people were asking me earlier who I think will win this game, and I don't really have a good answer. I'd like to say the Swedes just because they're on home turf, but there's also a lot of pressure, that comes with being on that home field. And can they make it? I don't know. It's a good question, and I think it's one that's a very fair question to ask because, if you're going to be a team that plays as well as the Swedes have played the last little while, you'd sort of expect them to win this game. But at the same time, they really haven't faced that much adversity. So I would be curious to sort of know if they are going to win this game. And the truth is, U.S. is another team that has faced a lot of adversity. So if Sweden seems to go down early, or goes up early, I don't think the U.S. is out of it at all. Where, if the U.S. can find their groove early, it's probably going to be a little bit of a slaughterhouse. Gordy with the shot to the guy's head. No one ever likes that. If you are new here, we should have subscribe. So let's click on the poll who you think will win and let us know in the chat who you are cheering for in this game. Yes, I'm cheering for Sweden. Yes, I'm from Canada. Yes, I don't like the U.S. Welcome in. But still a great game. If you are new here, be sure also to turn on the game yourself. This game, we're not allowed to stream the game here just because it's copyright. But if you do, keep us on. Basically mute them, listen to us. We'll talk about all the analysis you'll need as we basically break down this game. If you have any questions, leave them in chat. I'm more than happy to talk through it. If you want to know some of the strategies that, either Sweden or the U.S. is using, once again, fire away. Just sort of, fire away. Say hi in the chat. We're somewhat friendly, I think. Poor Braden's been feeling my wrath lately because the poor guy's cheering for the U.S., but hey, not everyone can be born in, best country in the world, best hockey nation in the world. Just please don't chirp me for that one. I know they lost. They suck. I get it. Tough break for me. So we got the wave going in Sweden. Who are they booing? Oh, just the Americans. Oh, sorry. I thought there was a penalty or something that they were calling. Ooh, good hit. Oh, missed fumble by the U.S. as it's cleared. Oh, no, it didn't get cleared out. Still in the U.S. zone. Well, there you go. Oh, good save. Good save by Havlick, whatever. Finley with the chance there. It's a good little breakaway chance. Split the D yet again. You see a lot of that from the U.S., right? They break away from the defenseman. We saw a lot of that in that Canada game too, where they try and sneak a forward through the middle. Very similar to if you ever watch the Leafs play, they like to do that a lot too, as well as the Penguins. The Penguins are a big team that likes to use that middle of the ice to split the D, and they are just like, they play good hockey, and that's sort of how you have to do it. That's how you play good quality hockey, and good play by Lekkerimäki there. Gets it in deep for the Swedes, and Swedes are able to put some pressure on the U.S. Like, the Swedes can't really compete with the U.S. head-to-head here, but where they do end up making their money, right, is in their ability to play the puck, to get in deep, chip pucks, cycle play. A lot of what the U.S. is good at, it's just they're able to do the down-low stuff a little bit better because they are a bigger team. Offside. Are they really booing that call? Wow. It's a tough one. But nonetheless here, it's been a good start to this game. Nice and even, just like you want a gold medal game, right? You never want to get a gold medal game to be a big lopsided affair. It's going to be a good game. Sweden is playing relatively well for what they need to do to win this game, I'd say. And the U.S. has been getting their chances, which is also what they need to do. The U.S. historically starts slow. So, like, we even saw it yesterday in that Finland game, right? Where, they didn't score till they were already down 2-0, and then they slowly but surely battled back. But you just have to – penalty on the Swedes here. High sticking on McGorty. Keep an eye on Lane Hudson. Great hands. He's a great player too. Penalty on penalty on Sweden here upcoming. Delayed penalty. We will see if the U.S. I sort of talked about this. You have to keep the U.S. off the power play if you want to win this game, because every time you see the U.S. go on the power play, it seems to come on. It's Cutter and Snugs time. It really is, and it's one of the things I really like about this U.S. power play is it's not one guy. It's really a good pass around play. There's your pass play. There you go. As Perot with the first goal of the game, the U.S. now leads 1-0, and we'll see. Obviously, this is going to become a tight game. 1-0 for the U.S. over Swedes, and it's not happy. I don't like the U.S. very much. But good. It was a heck of a play. There's Smith. Smith with the pass from the blue line. Little slap pass play. Jam in the back door. That's what you want to do. With the extra man on 2, right? Because you have that penalty. Delayed penalty upcoming. And you take care of business. That's what you want to see out of the U.S. They're starting to find their way. And I mentioned it. Once the U.S. starts to score, if you're the Swedes, make sure to keep going.
Take the lead as the BC trio strikes again. Berlin has turned the turnover. 5 U.S. players with a Canadian dad.
We'll see here. It's going to be a good game. 1-0 U.S. 3 minutes to go in the first period. Almost said the third period there. That line will be absolutely filthy next year. Yeah, it will. Honestly, like, this U.S. team is just one of those teams that, you can look at and just say, and you can even see it, right? They're just a special team. So here we go. 3-on-2, 4-on-3, 3-on-2 for the Swedes. They lost their momentum. Tight end down deep. U.S. brings it back out of their end. Good. Oh, giveaway in the neutral zone. See if Swedes can transition it here. Oh, solid play. It's a good play for the Swedes in the offensive end. Oh, good. Oh, just missed the corner side for the Swedes. Just think, no penalty. Yeah. What I really like is, so like in the what I find, I guess I don't know if I like it, but in the women's, like the new women's league. Oh, that might be a cross check to the face. Is that Oslin going to the box? No. Anyway, so as I was saying, in the women's league, they have this rule where basically if you score a goal while you're on short, like while you're shorthanded, that penalty gets wiped off. Like it's just a really cool. It's an interesting rule, and I found that one like just the thought of that, right? Because that would change a game right there. You score a goal, you get off the penalty kill, and everything just opens up a little bit. Oh, did the trainer just wear that? But where are the refs from? Just checking. So one from the U.S., one from Switzerland, one from Slovak, one from Canada. So I was a little surprised to see the U.S. ref in this game. But, I mean, you got to do what you got to do, right? Like, it's just you take the best refs you have and you go with it. No Swedish refs. No Swedish refs today. Oh, there you go. That's what they usually don't do. That. Good save by Havlin. Havlin's been a little shaky to start this game with his rebound control, like more so than usual. Like he's good save by Havlin with Cutter Gauthier in the paint looking for extra. Yeah, it is a little weird, I gotta say. Normally they don't run that, but for whatever reason they did it on this one, so I guess all credit to them. They believe in what they're trying to do, so it is what it is. Good start here for the U.S. They've now found their groove. They're starting to buzz a little bit. Sweden still, though, I have to say that you can't really count them out. Like they've looked. Ooh, just missed the net on the wraparound attempt. They've played pretty well, like all things considered, especially after this goal. Like you've seen sort of that fight in them, if you want to call it that. Like they're certainly not afraid of this U.S. team, which is a good sign, right? You saw yesterday with the Finns. Should have had a Russian ref. Well, sure missed the Russians. Poor kids' lives are being ruined. Yeah, well, is what it is, right? Just gotta protect everyone. So, but that being said, most of them are in the KHL, yeah, and you see a lot of them sort of just stick there. Like even look at Mishka, for example, right? Like he's tied up till I think it's 25, and then like I read an article today where basically he said, yeah, I might not even come to the NHL after, right? Like it just depends on what's going on, and I mean I'm sure he's not allowed to say anything about leaving Russia, so there's also that added pressure, but I mean, it's what it is, right? Like, it's all part of the fun. Just makes that pick that much more risky and that much more ability to be drawn on. Did they break the camera? Oh, that's an offside review camera. I was about to say, because remember back, what year was that? That was 19, I think. 2019? I think it was 2019 when Russia played Canada. And the Russians hit the TSN camera on the delay game call that didn't get called. That was I remember that game. That one was a heck of a game with Keel Thomas scoring the game winner, who played like fourth line minutes, barely got to play at all, and then all of a sudden his name gets called. I don't remember it was a shorthanded attempt. I don't think it was, but they came back in that game, and it was just that excitement was back in that building, and it was just a neat tournament to be a part of and to watch. I think Philly wants to get him out earlier if he's ready. Well, yeah, but he's also tied up with a contract, right? So there's also the legal aspect of it, which is a little tougher. But I mean, if they're going to pay him big money, he'll probably come. If he's not going to get the big money with Philly, like, that's where it becomes a problem, right? Like, he's a guy that's probably going to want his money. And if you don't give it to him, then he has a better offer. But anyway, Oslin with the move. There you go. Oh, he just missed the pass. He had a perfect opportunity. Oh, here you go. U.S. chance on the wraparound. I don't know how much time's left. They pulled the clock. Okay. So we have a 1-0 game after one period of play. It's a good start to this hockey game, to be honest. Nice and close, exactly as you want it. And I think it's going to be one of those games where it's a one mistake game. If you make the mistake, it's going to come back to bite you. And we've already seen one mistake against the Swedes, and it's ended up in the back of the net. So we'll see. I don't know. I think anything will be crazy. Just solid top signature. You'll see will work. Sure, when he comes over to Philly, doesn't want him. Yeah, honestly, I'm not too sure about that one too. I think it makes sense. Just trying to think that through because the ELC is 3 years. You have to sign it. I don't know if he can sign an extra contract. So you only get a certain amount of years to sign that contract. So he might be a later acquisition. It's honestly hard to say because he's like right on that edge of his contract. Because I think he comes back 2025. He was drafted in 23, which means like, it's that risky side. This game has been playing with some great pace, which is really nice to see, especially in that gold medal game. The poll is now at 61% for the U.S., 39% for Sweden. Good, solid game overall, and it's really all you can ask for, right? It's a good checking game. It's what you expect from when these two like really solid countries play each other. It's one of those games where it's not going to be a high-scoring affair. It's going to be a tight checking game, and it's met my expectations so far. I would be interested to see how Sweden responds. Obviously, they've already gone down early, so we'll sort of see, if they can come back and show some good pushback. I honestly can't remember a time where they were down by like quite a few goals. So we'll see if they're able to come back in this one. Refs letting them play as they should, right? Like unless there's a penalty where it's like on like an obvious penalty, right? Where you're hitting someone in the face, or you're cross checking, or you're boarding someone, or you're tripping someone that's like gonna hurt the play. Other than that, it's just like it's a gold medal game. You got to let the kids play at some point. So I really do think it's a good idea for them just to sort of bury the whistles here. It's a good day for Sweden's gold medal game loss. Tough game today, eh? Just could not pull it off. I was cheering for you guys. But Czechs played really well, and ended up winning 8-5, showed the fight in the dog, and Finland just couldn't finish it off, right? And that's sort of what you're looking at. It's that tight checking game. 8-5 was your final. When it went early down, so the Finns 2-0, then 2-2, and then 5-2 for the Finns, and then 5-5, and then 8-5 for the Czechs. Czechs scored would have been 6 consecutive goals. 4 of those goals, I think, were scored in the span of like a minute, like 60 seconds or 40 seconds. Ask him how to say hello in Sweden. He's from Finland. He's although he might, I don't think he'd know, but good old Google Translate would be a pretty good one too. Normally that can help. But anyway, the Swedes are a solid team, and I mean, we'll see, right? Just tough luck for the Finns today, and they just couldn't pull it off. And one of their biggest problems was when you look at the goals of the game, every single one of them for the Czechs was. Oh, do they actually? Oh, that's kind of cool. I didn't realize that. I guess it'd be a lot like French, I guess, and Spanish and all that here in Canada. But yeah, I mean, the Czechs-Finns game, the biggest problem for the Finns in that game, they took a lot of undisciplined penalties. as well as just the Czech special teams in that game were crazy. Would have been the first 5 goals that the Czechs scored were all special teams. Oh, is it actually? I didn't know that. That's actually pretty cool. Do you know how to say hello in Swedish then? I've been trying to learn. I'm learning slowly. It's my New Year's resolution. Let's call it that. But like the first 5 goals for the Czechs in that game were all special teams, right? You had the first 2 were power plays. The third goal would have been a shorthanded goal. The fourth goal was a power play. The fifth one was the extra attacker, and the sixth one was equalizer, like even strength. And then the seventh and eighth goal were both empty netters. And when you look at that, right, it's just the betterment in special teams. Finland let the Czechs go to the power play many 2 times, and that really changed the game. That shorthanded goal killed Finland's momentum going into the end of the second period, and they came back after the second and into that third period and really showed themselves well. Just the Czechs played a heck of a game today and took it. Just they're never out, and we saw that with that Canada game. They're just never out of the game. No matter how many times you put a goal up against them, they'll always seem to come back, which is sort of a good trait, I guess, if we want to call it that for them.
And the burden of no gold medals for so long, and they didn't do anything poorly in the first period at all. But then you end up with a delayed penalty. Casey comes to the neutral zone, great offensive defenseman. Marotti puts it back to the point, and Will Smith, the pro.
That looks pretty cool.
Tremendous slap pass by Smith. And what's interesting is, from the moment the penalty was called.
So, how's everybody doing today? We all feeling good about this game, or is everyone who's Dark Sign I love on the fly stream? I appreciate that. Sorry, I just threw that one into Google Translate because good thing you're not drinking beer, lol. But it's been honestly like we all. It's bad the period ended while it was 1-0. I'd rather be 2-1 or something like that. Honestly though, it's a tight checking game. That's what you want to see from these 2 teams. They're playing their games well and they're actually executing. Actually, I am drinking. I mean, it is night now, isn't it? Out there, it's you guys are +5 or +6, I think, from us. So it'd be like 8 o'clock or 7 o'clock out in Sweden and Finland right now, I do believe, or maybe it's 7 or 8 or 9. But anyway, it's been it's been a good game, and whenever it's a good game, you just can't complain, right? It's one of those great solid games overall. These are the gold medal games you look back and say this is a good one just to be part. Just over Norris Virus down for days. Ooh. 21-10, so 8-9. Yeah, so 9-20. Right. Wait, no. Yeah, 9. So 9, yeah. Right, because you guys use 24-hour time over there, don't you? Yeah, I remember that now. Right, it's 3:20. Oh, that's Atlantic, I think. Yeah, it's Atlantic time. I'm on the Eastern Standard Time, so it's it's always fun to see where everyone is, what time everyone's watching this at, because it is a Friday, right? So TGIF. Thank God it's Friday. It's been quite the week. We've seen Canada go down. New Year's was excellent. I'd hope for all of you. So beware, wash your hands all the time. I can definitely confirm that message. Everyone, be sure to always wash your hands all the time. Make sure to do it. It's important. You want to make sure you're staying healthy, especially over this time where a lot of people are getting sick. Be sure to wash your hands and take care of your hygiene. No, that's not the right one. Be sure to be safe. Just be safe and live in East Canada, right? So like East Coast, because I think you said, you told me this. It was you're Nova Scotia, I think, right? Moncton, that area. Everyone on the stream, stay healthy and have a good weekend. Exactly. That's all everyone can hope for, right? And go Sweden, go. That's the other part I will say. Hey, Ronnie, how you doing? But yeah, it's been a good game, right? So, New Brunswick. Okay, yeah. I'm not very close. But anyway, still, it's been a good game, right? Good start to this game. You really can't complain. Both teams are playing very structural hockey, as they should, especially as 2 of the top nations at hockey. you expect a good game out of them. They're playing what they need. They're doing what they need to do, right? They're playing good, solid. One of the Maritime province, yeah. Right. Gotcha. Oh. But anyway, it's all part of the fun, right? Is getting to watch World Junior Hockey on a Friday afternoon, if you want to call it that. Friday night, where some of you guys are. Just it's a great day, and you can't complain. How to find it whenever Finland is playing and Sweden has been eliminated, we'll cheer for us Finns, but we'll never cheer for them. That's a lot like the U.S. and Canada, I gotta say, because whenever the U.S. gets knocked out, no one cheers for Canada, but there's always a couple people who'll cheer for the U.S. from Canada, so it's always that sort of interesting rivalry in that sense. But hey, you can't teach good culture. I'm kidding. I'm cheering for the Swedes because I don't like the U.S.'s hockey team. They're too good, and I can't let them win because that's all you hear about for till next year when they play again, and then that's all you hear about is how they won until you can knock them off again and send them home sad. But nonetheless, if you are new here, be sure to like, subscribe, let us know who you're cheering for in the chat, as well as hit the poll. Currently, you guys think 62% is going to for US and 38% for Sweden. 39 votes, which means you're 1 vote away from 40. I will cheer for anyone but the US and the Czechs. Yep, I understand that, and I'll be honest, for me, like what I've sort of found with myself, it's whoever knocks my team out, I'll cheer for them. Unless, of course, they're the U.S. because I can't cheer for the U.S. It's pretty good. Enjoying the last game of the World Juniors. What do you think about those weird refs this year? The refs have been, I guess, a little too prominent in this game. You're seeing a lot of them, right? And I don't really like to see a lot of refs. Like they're really standing out in this tournament. Like you look back at this, right? Just the number of games that have been decided by penalties. That Sweden-Swiss game, right? That game was decided by 2 penalties back-to-back, and Switzerland really never stood a shot. The first one was a weak call. The second one was like, okay, it is a penalty in a normal game, but I actually haven't been to the Maritimes yet. I'd love to go, but haven't been quite yet. And they love Boston. Oh, I know they love Boston. And then even against, who was it against? This past game with the Finland and the U.S. Another penalty call that was, well, exactly right. Like it's just this consistent problem that they seem to be facing where, like it's just bad call after bad call after bad call, and after some point, it's like, come on, guys, get in the groove of this. But especially in the playoffs, like round robin, I mean, I'll take it. There's been a lot of 5-minute penalties called. And I mean, I've made a mockery of it too. But at the same time, it's a deserved mockery, right? Because you just do it so many times where you're putting on the headset. You don't trust your call. And you're calling 5 minutes for the sake of calling the review. And I'm trying to remember the one day, I guess it was day 3 maybe, or day 2, where I think there was 6 or 7 of them, like within the 4 games or whatever was played. Like at some point you got to make a call and just trust it. And it's really annoying when, they call a 5-minute and then all of a sudden, okay, it's not really a 5-minute. It's either a no penalty or it's 2-minute. Like, because it's not a 5-minute penalty. They just want to look at the review to see if it is actually a penalty or not. For me, that's a little bit like, come on, guys, like trust yourselves a little bit more. But, one man's problem, I guess, right? But they're showing the replay of the Czech and Finland game, and I tell you, that game was one to watch. Because the Czechs went down early 2-0 against the Finns. Sure enough, they battled back 2-2. Then the Finns put up 3 goals. And, you think, the Czechs would be out 5-2 down going into right near the end of the third period, or right near the end of the second period. And sure enough, they battle their way back, put in a late shorthanded goal in the second period. They go to the intermission, having some momentum. They carry it through into the third. They looked like the better team, and they just chipped away. They put in another power play goal. Then they put in the extra attacker goal, and then they had a nice little tip play from the front of the net, from the blue line, right? Like another one of those harmless looking plays where, you shoot it from the point, it hits off a shin pad into the back of the net past Nicholas Coco, and all of a sudden 6-5, and then they put in the empty netter, they pick the pocket off the defenseman, put another one in, and then sure enough, they win the face-off draw, shoot into the empty net. Just another one of those tough plays, but it's been a great day of hockey, and we'll get all of it in the recap too. That will come out as soon as this stream's done. Obviously, it'll be a little bit just as we need to basically rest my voice a little bit because it tends to hurt after these things, but maybe the ability to check those major hinders your own judgment. Well, exactly, right? Like there's a rule in NHL, like in the NHL, or there used to be. I think they might have changed this recently. I didn't actually catch this, but basically there's this new rule where, and the old rule is what I'm sort of talking about here, is that it's how do I even explain it? So if you call a 5-minute major, right, to go to review, the most you can drop it down to is a 2-minute penalty. And when we look at that, right, to me that makes the most sense because you're not going to a 5-minute call just to take a 5-minute call off the board. It's a 2-minute call and you stick to that. But I mean, I don't know, right? Because it's one of those weird sort of plays. You have to, if you're going to call a 5-minute major, like you got to assume it's going to be a major. And the only way it wouldn't be is if, you can tell that it wasn't like an intentional play. Let's check they've blown a couple of them, and it's just sort of annoying to see it, right? Like, because every time a 5-minute major gets called, it's like, okay, now I actually have to be on the edge of my seat to see if it's actually going to be a 5-minute major. I feel it's worse to lose the bronze medal game than gold. For some countries, I'd say yes to that. Like it hurts a little bit more when you don't win a medal. But there's like when you're looking at a team like a Canada, for example, I'd honestly argue it's worse to lose the silver or to win the silver or to lose the gold, just because you have so much expectations on your team going into a tournament, and then once you're in that bronze medal game, no one really cares. You look back to last year's game between Sweden and the U.S., right? Two countries that are very prominent in the hockey world, and ironically enough, it's a repeat of the gold medal this year. But the game ended 8-7 with two countries that were very defensive minded through the entire tournament, and then all of a sudden, and I mean, it just sort of depends on who you ask, right? Like if you ask me, I'd say it hurts a lot more to lose the gold medal game. But at the same time, if you ask someone from like the Czech Republic, for say, right, where they don't win a lot of medals, or maybe a country more like Slovakia, where they don't win a lot of medals, right? They're going to rather have the medal in hand and say, "Yeah, we won. Like we won a medal at this tournament," versus a guaranteed medal. Like it's just it's one of those things, right, where it's either you don't win a medal or you win a medal. Are you ready to someone named Patrick? Oh, this is about to be awesome. Paul Duffy, please say yes. Please say yes. Come on. If I remember the last time Sweden got the silver, the player not sure refused to. Oh yeah. Oh, that's too bad. Because I think it was that year. Maybe it wasn't. Was it Sweden? I think it was Sweden, but it wasn't last year. It was a couple years ago, where the Swedish player threw his medal into the stands. Or maybe it was the Finnish player. Oh no, it was 2 years ago. It was the Finnish player threw his medal into the stands after. It was the Finnish. It was the Finnish player actually. Yeah, I don't remember his name, but I'm pretty sure it was the Finn, wasn't it? Pretty sure it was the Finn. Oh, it was 2018. Okay. Yeah, I remember watching that one. Yeah. Oh yeah, right. Yeah, that's right. Yeah. Yeah, it's been a long time though. Like it's, but you still remember that one, right? Because it was like, oh my god. But, all right, because it wasn't Toronto, but it was that was in a European country, I think, right? Memory serves, 2018. Or was it Canada? Because remember the Canada jersey was the one who caught it. I just can't remember. Honestly, it was Buffalo. Yeah, okay. Yeah. So I remember the Canada guy catching the medal, and the end thing was like he deserved it more than I did or something. That one made me laugh so hard. But it's one of those things, right? It hurts a lot, but because you have all these expectations on you, you're the team for the medal, and you're going to do well, and then 2-on-1, nope, missed it. U.S. comes back the other way. We got a 3-on-2 coming into the zone. Czar, oh, just missed it. Oh, good little play there. Stenberg, good move. Good move behind the net. He's just, ooh, good hit. Sorry, I'll get to that comment just 1 second. Just the Swedes are in the offensive zone. They're actually looking really good. Good little play there. Good pass across. Here comes the shot. Tip. Scores! Woo-hoo! 1-1. 1-1 Sweden and the U.S. Here we go. The goalies are making easy saves look hard. They're also making easy goals look really hard. Okay, sorry. So, Ronnie, and what do you think about the Czechs in general? They've been looking really good this year. Well, at least I'm proud of our boys because they're finally playing. They've been a team that I've been really impressed with lately. And they're one of those teams, right, where they're really easy to cheer for, right? Like, even, I know they knocked Canada out, right? But they're a team that, like, they're expected to do really well at this tournament. Yes, won't throw away gold if they get it. Well, I mean, you never know, do you? That would be an interesting one, right? Where you have all your team just throw out their medals. But anyway, and sorry, just on the Czechs, like they look really, really good. I have to say, like the last couple of years, especially, you think about it, right? They made it to the gold medal game last year, almost beat Canada. This year they beat Canada, and they're competitive with like every hockey nation, right? They almost beat the U.S. this year, like the U.S. And I mean, they're just one of those teams, right? They beat Canada in the round robin, I think, last year. Was that 2 years ago? Whatever year it was. But they're just like they're consistently playing good hockey, and they're just getting better and better. Like I've been really impressed with their game, I have to say. Stay away from tweet. Oh, the ref's whistle. I got you. That's funny. I think that's what you mean. Oh, that's awesome. Ooh. When you said goal, I looked at my game, I was confused. I'll hear from the announcer, goal. Sorry, it might be I'm a little bit ahead of you. It was a nice play. It's gonna be a great game, honestly. Like, I mean, it's what you get though, right? That's what you get out of a U.S. Sweden game. Nice little slap pass up the middle. That's their other play that they like to run to. Is that little like come across, slot shot. It's a good play. Gets the goalie moving. Whenever the goalie starts moving, that's when high quality chances are created. So, because as soon as the goalie can square up, get set, it's just an easier save for him. Lane Hudson here collects behind his net. Good play. Dump it. They call that icing? Okay. Yikes. That's a good shot. Oh, good tip. Stenberg with the goal. That was a heck of a tip. I mean, you could see that play coming, but still always a good play whenever you can get that solid tip in, get between the goalie's 5-hole on the move. But I sort of mentioned it, right? Whenever you can get a goaltender who's moving, you're normally going to do pretty well. Especially sliding side to side. That's when stuff starts to open up for you. Ooh, hit him. Just missed picked up the puck at least. Good pass. Up to the middle. Shoot. Shot. Rebound. Oh, just missed the net. It's a good play. Good. Sweden is now pressing, and they're I sort of touched on it though. Like once the US starts going down, you got to be careful just to stay out of the box because they get deflated until they can score again. So if you can keep the pressure on here for Sweden, get another quick one, you're looking pretty solid. As our poll is Fly, did you ever play hockey growing up? Yeah, I played. I'd like to say I was going to make it to the NHL, and then I just wasn't good enough. Oh, shot! He missed the net. In this tournament, ices me, confused me. It doesn't seem normal. It's I'm pretty sure it's the same icing as in general. Like there's certain times where I think it's a little bit tighter when they when they whistle it down, but it's the same sort of idea. But yeah, no, I was better at understanding and watching hockey than I was at playing. But I mean, I wasn't terrible. I had my moments, as I like to say. I'm also from Canada, so you're kind of forced into hockey. But we'll see here. We have a 1-1 hockey game, 14 and a half to go in this gold medal game between Sweden and the US of A. If you are new here, be sure to drop a like, subscribe, as well as vote in the poll. Let us know who you think is going to win and tell us who you want to win in the chat, because there's been times where whoever's leading the chat or the poll seems to be winning games. So we'll see if that continues today. Good little play. See if they can pass it. Oh, he flubbed it. Oh, offside on it's a bad change. You got caught changing there. You can't get caught changing there. You know, if you're gonna change, get past the blue line and then change up. Don't take the easy way in. You got to remember that these boards are different in this in this basically league or tournament, whatever. They're now on the inside of the boards. Don't forget there is no red line. Good times never seem so good. I went to one practice and I was like 7 out of 10, never go again, and I didn't. Yeah, no, I hear you, right? It's you really appreciate it once you're done with your opportunity. Sweden needs to stick to the guy ready for the one-timer. Honestly, it's always a good play, right? If you can get the goalie moving, that's how you score a lot of goals. Like, and that's why we sort of touch on it in the power play, right? That's why you have to be careful about the guys on the corner sides, but also the guy in the middle is the most dangerous because he can hit all sides of the net, especially with the goalie moving. It's really hard for him to pick up the puck in the middle. But I mean, it's been a good game so far, right? It's been we have a 1-1 hockey game. I hope US won't score a quick one somehow. You will be special, exactly. Sweden is finally getting the momentum going by that goal. Yeah, I love to see it too. Go Sweden! Cheers to that. So cheers to a Sweden win and a good game overall. Cheers. But it's been honestly, this is what you want out of a gold medal championship game in the World Juniors. A nice tight cut game where no one's really leading by that much, and it's just one of those games where anybody can take it. And it's been one of those games that have been really good. Good ads. 1-7 record in gold medal games for Sweden. 1 gold in the last 42 tournaments. 2012 they won it, and that's it's a toughie. I mean, they've had there's a lot of pressure on them to win this game, right? Especially in front of a home crowd. Good shot with the screen, tip play. Here you go. Oh, they tried the backdoor jam. That's what you need to do, though, right? Like if you can keep it to that backdoor side, there's been a lot of goals scored like that in this tournament, especially for a team like Sweden. You know, they look good. And that's what you want to be looking for. You know, it's that ability to essentially move it. The board's coming out again. Because if you can we're good. We got it. We're good. Okay. So if you can basically say this guy's sneaking in, right? Coming in here. If you can get the puck around the corner, come here and just jam it across, what you need. Add the game clock and scoreboard. You know, I want to learn how to do that. I just haven't actually figured out how to do that yet. It's been if we do streams again for the World Championship, maybe. But yeah, I just haven't figured out how to do that quite yet. But it will be coming eventually. I promise you that. Good save. Shoot it. Oh, the goalie's down. Sweden guy. Oh, he's getting killed in front of the net. Oh, breakaway. He broke the defender. U.S. breakaway. And he misses the net. No penalty. Great. There's guys in the corner that every time the U.S. does something dumb or misses, they throw up the 10 out of 10, like the good old-fashioned scoreboard style. But, you know, what we can try and do that might honestly work is grab something like this. See if we can DIY a scoreboard here. Right? Where maybe if we go like this, just make sure that, you know, the good old-fashioned thing isn't going to fall on me. If we go like this, I think you can sort of see that. Can you guys still hear me? Does that work better? I'm not sure if you guys can still see me, and that's not actually the score of this current game, but almost got a heart attack on that breakaway. Yeah, no, it's they just missed the net there, just by a smidge. So it's now 1-1. Got 1-1. Second period. All right. But it's been a good game so far, right? Like 12-11 in shots for the U.S., which means it's always going to be a close game when that's the case. Maybe if we go like this. I see your eyes cool. Let's try this one. Oh, Sweden on the 3-on-2. The breakaway near the end of the first looked like it was going in while the Sweden goalie was on his stomach. Yeah. No, there's been a lot of loose breaks for the Americans. That's what they like to do, right? Because they are a better and more skilled team, which means they're faster and their skating ability is better. So, I mean, we saw that in the first exhibition game or the pre-tournament game for the U.S. when they played Canada. And they, I honestly can't even count how many times, you know, the U.S. broke the defenders. Because it was really a good solid play. USA 1 second, 10 minutes. We'll go with that. Oh, U.S. with another breaker with Howard, and he scores. Oh, that's a good goal. Good goal for the U.S. That one's going to hurt. Good play, solid play. It's what you have to do, though, right? We've seen it time and time again. The U.S. keeps sneaking guys behind the defense, and when that happens, it's just really hard to defend, you know, and it's just what happens with the U.S. and how they sort of have to play this game. But nonetheless, it is now a 2-1 hockey game for the USA. And it's been another one of those really good games overall. So we'll see if it will keep it going. Obviously, plenty of hockey still to play. But we'll see if the U.S. can find their groove here. Yeah, dang it. I completely agree with that one. That one is definitely a dang it. But, I mean, you know, the U.S. team is fast. Like, every one of them play with skill, play with speed. And, I mean, that's what you have to do, right, in this game. At the end of the day, if you're the U.S., you want to score goals, and you're going to score a lot of goals by sneaking guys behind the Swedish defense, breaking them off. Howard's really said, I am speed. Well, 100%, right? And, I mean, it's a lot easier for the U.S. to, you know, break out of their zone too if they have a guy that's already up in the zone with a defenseman pulling them back. Like, I'm just saying, right? Like, it's a really good option for them to basically break away from it. But nonetheless, here we have a 2-1 hockey game. USA is up, 10 minutes to play. And I mean, we'll see, right? We'll see if the U.S. can find their way here. Sweden needs a goal relatively quickly. As we like to say here, when it rains, it pours, right? With the U.S. Oh, he had a bad rebound that almost went in. Who is he a Howard? That's a good question. Oh, another loose break. Good little play there. So 9:31 to go. Hope Montreal. I'm trying to remember. Oh, monkey off the back for Howard. It's a good play. But nonetheless, here we have another solid game, right? 2-1 for the U.S. over the Swedes. It's a tight checking game, and you know, if you're if you're the U.S., you just have to keep working on keeping the puck out of the end, and eventually everything will work out. Man, that speed can be a heck of a problem. It's been a problem for them the entire tournament so far, like for teams trying to get out of it. But like at some point, right, it just becomes a problem, and teams are having a lot of trouble. That sounds about right. They're just having a lot of problems, defending it. And the Canada, like probably one of the most skilled teams here, aside from the U.S., had the biggest problem with it. Like the amount of times in that pre-tournament, I think the final score was 6-5 in overtime or 7-6 in overtime or whatever. Like half of the goals scored by the U.S. were, shorthanded breaks, and they played a really solid game. Tampa Bay, yeah. Sweden goalie needs to tighten his 5-hole and they will get the win. Yeah. I mean, it is tricky though, right? Because like this. Oh no, that's not that's Fortescue. Oh, just missed. But whenever you're moving, right, as a goalie, your pads come up because you to push off, right? If you're like this, it's got to come up a little bit so you can get some traction to move across. So whenever you're on like a breakaway or whatever, if you can get that goalie moving, it's game over. I've seen USA play only against the Czechs, so I'm kind of surprised by that fact. Yeah, I mean, that's what they've done this entire tournament, though, right? Is like when they are using their skill, that's what I sort of mean by that is, getting behind defensemen and really just showing off their 2-on-1. Oh, when he misses the net, hit the net. Oh my God, I can't even count how many times now they've missed this net. It's been, it's been one of those games. We do have a 2-1 hockey game with 8 minutes to go here. We'll see if they can keep this up. It's been still a pretty solid game for both teams, and they're playing good hockey. Moving with it closed is hard, but well, yeah, right. And I mean, at some point it'll come up. Like even if it's just for that split second breakaway. Oh my God, good save. Augustine is now putting the U.S. on his back here. It's a good old-fashioned turning point in this hockey game. That one might be it. Sweden is buzzing right now. So, yeah. Yeah, exactly. Good pass. Oh, hit the net. But nonetheless, here it's been a good hockey game. 2-1 game and a gold medal. Like, what more could you ask for? That's like the dream right there. McGroarty passing not across, which is an interesting call. Good save. So Sweden is going to get a change here. Osland. Oh, good play. Oh, and he misses the net again. God. How many times have they missed the net in this hockey game? Especially with a guy rushing. Oh, just missed it. Especially with a guy who's rushing when you have like a rebound opportunity. You want a low shot on net because the worst thing that can happen, is just like a bad rebound that goes into the other guy's stick, and then you have another moving goalie, right? It's basically a wide open net. But nonetheless, good play. 3-on-2 again. Steered away by Augustine. As the U.S. brings it behind their net, there's about 6.5 to play here. If you are new, be sure to drop a like, say hi in the chat, let us know who you're cheering for, as well as let us know who you want to win or who you think is going to win in the polls, as well as who you're cheering for in the chat. And be sure to subscribe for more. Oh, he just misses goal. Good play. Just missed. Missing to try and hit that corner, right? And I mean, that's what we've seen, right? Is you see the same thing in that Canada-Czech game where, as much as it hurts to say it, Canada lost that game not because the Czechs basically, the Czechs played a really good game, but they didn't really beat them. Canada beat themselves out of that game. Oh, they called that one icing. Ooh. That one's a toughie. Like, you're going to call that one icing? I don't know about that. Like, when you have someone that tight in the puck race, you have to – what other streams do you do? Really whatever you want me to do. Like, if you have an idea for a stream, let me know. We've been doing a lot of junior streams. Obviously, that's been the talk of the tournament. Agree with the crowd. I think we all agree with the crowd on that one. That one's just one of those plays where I don't know. I sort of disagree with that call. Good. But yeah, so I mean, a lot of what we do here on the channel is videos, so like recaps and analysis. Oh no, no, no! Hadley just let one in off his pad from behind the goal line. That's a toughie. That is a toughie. That's a tough goal against. That becomes 3-1 for the U.S. over the Swedes. That's a tough play. Did it hit off a... Oh, that's a tough goal against. It just went right through his tip. No. Oh, it hit off his inside or his outside foot and went in. That is a tough goal to let in off that. That is just, oh, in a gold medal game too. Let's go. There's a 2-piece for the kid. Yeah. Oh, that is what we like to call a toughie. 5-hole again. Well, I mean, yeah, right. That's it's proven to be a problem in this game so far. So I guess we'll see if it keeps going, but it's too bad. They needed that one. Do you do Blue Jays? I don't do Blue Jays. It's all hockey here. But if you want to talk Jays, hey, there's a 3-1 hockey game now for the U.S. over the Swedes. So I do have to say the Jays have lost a lot of my trust, but it is what it is. U.S. is going to be saying shoot 5-hole, honestly. Kids want to be flashy more than score. Well, I mean, that's what it comes down to, right? Is at the end of this day, this tournament is just one big scouting trip for them because, like, the amount of NHL scouts that are at this tournament is off the chart, right? But like, because when you look at it, right, at the end of the day, this tournament really doesn't mean anything, right? It's just a gold medal at a IIHF event. So that was irony. I kind of lost the irony on that one, but at the same time, right? It doesn't. It doesn't really matter in the grand scheme of it for them because they're not getting paid for this tournament. Where they do get paid is when they play really well, right? You think about Adam Guyon or Gijon or however you want to pronounce it, right? The reason why he is where he is because he had an excellent World Junior tournament, right? He basically brought a name to himself because of how well he played against Canada in the World Juniors and how he basically single-handedly beat the U.S., right? I mean, that's what I look for, right, at this tournament is who's going to show themselves. And the U.S. more than anybody understands that because you also think about it, right? Slavkovsky's another one. He made a name for himself at this tournament too. So did Nemetz. So did basically everyone from Slovakia who's now drafted in that top round. Because, you know, like I'd make the argument, of course, that Slavkovsky is where he is because of the Olympic play. But at the same time, right, he's still he still made his name for himself at the juniors, which then allowed him to play at this tournament. So, you know, this tournament is a stepping stone for a lot of these players. So they're always going to want to show themselves well, which if that means being flashy, then albeit to them, right? Like there's another player with Owen Allard from Canada at this tournament. He's stepped into a role that he doesn't normally play in, and he's didn't change the board. Oh, my bad. There's 4.5 minutes to play. I'll change it at the next break. That's my apologies. But we have about 4 minutes to play here. Oh, giveaway in the defensive end for the U.S. misses the net yet again. Looked like it hit off a shin pad, though, so it wasn't like a complete miss, just sort of a good block shot. Okay, pass it out, and the Swedes are going to break out of their end, which is exactly what they need to do, right? Like, Bedard made the 2024 All-Star team in some cases where he didn't play for Canada. I mean, and I'm going to be mean to Blackhawks fans here, but who else is going to get it? Taylor Hall? They traded him for a bag of peanuts, which I might add was honestly one of the brilliant trades I've ever seen from Kyle Davidson in Chicago. Honestly, that deal was the biggest steal because we actually reacted to that one. That was a live reaction video too. And I don't think I've ever been more heartbroken. Would have not come if he had the chance. He might have, in all honesty. But if you're gonna be playing in the NHL, I don't think he would. Like, oh, that was a hit. He's not. Yeah, there's gonna be a fight here. He just killed the guy in middle neutral ice. Kind of shocked by the no penalty call there. That was a ruthless hit. He had nothing left to prove. Yeah, that's fair, I guess. But you could say the same thing about Poitras, right? Like, if anything, he made himself look worse at this tournament than if he did before. Because I've never seen an NHL player have so much problems like with this ice. But I mean, it is what it is. Oh, good save. No fighting, good hit, still skating. I mean, once again, though, right? Like, it's not that it's. I completely agree with you. In the NHL, absolutely. In junior play, I guess we'll see it here. So it was here, wasn't it? Blindside hit. Normally that gets called. That's all I'm making the argument for, right? Like it's a really good hit, but it's one of those hits where, normally there's a fight after it. But I mean, like, remember, right? This is the juniors. This is a double IIHF sanctioned event. Are they can't really call a penalty now, can they? What did I just miss? There's a fight going on in the corner. Best players last year were still eligible for this year. Yeah. Who I think you were. Yeah, you got to be careful though, right? Because these are the games. Oh, jeez. That is a hit. That is what we like to call a good old fashioned, just a murdering, if you want to call it that. That's just a good hit. It's clean. You hit him in the body. Is it a bad hit? Yeah. But he hit him in the chest. That's why you have to keep your head up in this tournament. But normally, right, in an NHL game or basically any game that's not a junior game, that will end in a fight. They took the 5 away on the hit to back. Yeah, they did. Man, penalty would be very helpful. Yeah. I mean, so I'll be honest with you guys here. There's going to be a penalty in the next minute. I don't know which way it'll go. But these teams are just getting way too chippy right now. So if the refs are smart, they take one of them, set the tone that there's going to be a problem. But you'll see it after every whistle from here on out. There's going to be some bad. Here we go. Like, they're going to start taking runs at each other, and eventually there's going to be a 5. Oh, he hit him in the face. They're getting distracted now with the refs, which is a problem for them. It is getting chippy, yeah. Well, I mean that's what gold medal games are about, right? Is normally it takes a little bit, like near the end when it starts getting really bad. Shot, save, good save by Havlet. Normally it takes a little bit to start getting a lot closer, but hey, that's the best part about the juniors, right? Is you kids with goofy names on the U.S. think they can play dirty, yeah. With the stick, and that would be a fall for even if it's a high stick. If you hit the puck first. Oh, he missed him. That's a missed high stick. Oh, wow. Sweden fans are not happy about that one. This game is going to be getting really bad soon. So anyway, stay tuned. This is where games get out of hand, though, right? For a lot of teams. So we'll see who can play the most disciplined hockey, and because the team that doesn't play disciplined is going to take a lot of penalties, and they're going to lose this hockey game. Because at this point, it's a race to see who takes the 5-minute major first, right? Whoever takes it's likely will lose this game. But every one of these games always ends in like a 5-minute major. So we'll see. They're just trying to make the extra bad hit. That's not icing. Okay. Sweden fans are not pleased. This is enjoyable. If you are new here, be sure to vote in the poll who you think is going to win, as well as like, subscribe, and let us know in the chat who you think is going to, or who you are cheering for in this game. Good hit. Okay, here we go. Breaking out for Sweden. 1:30 left to play in this game. It's been honestly a good game though, all in all. And the one thing I'll say is that when they come out for the third, it's going to be a really chippy game. TSN commentators glazing on the U.S. Well, I mean, the U.S. or the TSN's always going to glaze the U.S. It's just what happens. Dirty plays, yeah. I mean, like that hit is one of those hits where it's an okay hit if there's fighting, because you will never make that hit if there's fighting, because you will get absolutely pummeled by the fighter on the team. But there's oh, that's a penalty. Here we go. And look, there's another fight after the play. Like, this is what you're looking for from here on out, right? It's just them going at it, fighting after every single whistle. And yeah, we'll see what goes on here. So 54 seconds left to play in the third period. This is where games start to get chippy. This is where it starts to get interesting. For Swedes, this is basically what we like to call a must score power play to reset the momentum of this game. If they can reset the momentum, it's anybody's game. I'm rooting against Sweden. You know what? I can relate to that, actually, because I don't think I'm cheering for Sweden either. I think I'm just cheering against the U.S. But anyway, 2 minutes. Here we go for the power play. Minute 50 or 53 seconds left to play. That is the right way. These refs called the softest penalty. Yeah, that's exactly what I just said. Like, it's like I don't know. You know what? Like, oh, there you go. 2-on-1 for the U.S. Shorthanded chance. Oh, and he just misses the pass. They feel bad for Sweden now. Seems to be a common. Oh, back to the middle. Oh, what are you doing? Why would you pass that? Shoot the puck. That's a bad choice of play there. You got to shoot that puck. You have a prime scoring opportunity in the slot. You got to shoot that. Like, I'm sorry. Hit the guy in front. Oh, one of the U.S. defensemen. They scored. Uh-oh, Braden, feeling a little scared there. It's a 3-2 game. 3-2. USA 3, Sweden 2. As we head towards the final minutes, 5 seconds left in the period. And, we got ourselves a game here. Doing with TSN. Yeah, no, it's true. It's really weird, but I mean, that's what happens, right? Because Canada, like, TSN is a Canadian network, and they'll always cheer for the U.S. whenever they're gone, because that's where all their ratings come from. So you kind of appeal what your market is to who's playing, and in this case, it's the U.S., right? Because Canadians aren't really watching this game. They could care less who wins in this tournament. It's not going to be Canada. So, I mean, that's what you do, right? You glaze whoever you want to please. Not nervous at all, by the way. Okay, I'll take it. So now we're at the second intermission report. We have a 3-2 hockey game between Sweden and the US of A. This is going to be a heck of a finish, so definitely stay tuned as we draw intermission on the board. Can't wait to see what Jesse has to say about the final. Who's Jesse? Do I know Jesse? There we go. Oh, but anyway, we got a heck of a game here, and 57% of you guys still think, well, at least the Czech commentators cheering for Sweden. At least it sounds like it. Yeah, you sort of find that there's allegiances in wherever you sort of watch this game from. Oh yeah, I got you. Okay. Is he? Oh, I guess he's there, right? Because Bardown would be doing a feature there. Good second period. It's been a heck of a game, right? We finished this period off 1-1, I do believe, or maybe it was 1-0. But yeah, it's just been a good game overall, right? And we've seen just good hockey at this tournament consistently. No one's ever out of a game, and I mean, today proves it. But you even look at the game from earlier today. You look at, the Czech-Finn game. Czechs came back from a 2-goal deficit, then another 3-goal deficit, and hey, they won the bronze medal today and earned every second of it, right? So they've played a heck of a tournament, and I mean, we'll see what happens in this final, but it's going to make for a great game. No matter really what happens in this game, even like the U.S. won't pull away that much against Sweden. That's wood. I'm knocking wood. So I am eating, not able to type. You should have a snack. You earned it. Cheers. I'll take my drink and I'll eat my snack a little bit later. But anyway, it's been a great game, right? Like you can never complain about a gold medal game between Sweden and the US. Like that's what dreams are made of. Obviously, I'd wish Canada would be in there against either one of these teams, but as I like to say, you can't win them all. At some point, you gotta just play some good quality hockey, and Canada couldn't really do that. So it is what it is. But nonetheless, it's how's everyone doing in the chat right now? We all how are we feeling? We feeling okay? Or are we a little nervous? Or we really couldn't care less who wins this game? We've got a couple Canadians in here. We getting nervous though, because I mean, once again, I know I get nervous even when I don't really care who wins. It's just playoff hockey. It's gold medal game. It's what dreams are made of. You have the overtime winner. That's how you play it out as a kid on the street. It's a 3-3 hockey game going into overtime. Next goal wins. Who's it going to be? It's going to be you with the puck on your stick. And that's what you play with, right? Now, obviously, this might be the Olympics that you're doing it in. But, I mean, hey, I don't judge. For me, it was always Olympics game or like champ or gold medal game. There's two, right? You're always either playing the Stanley Cup final, game 7, or you're playing in the WJHC. You're saying Celebrini's going to go first, but I don't hear anyone talking about Geeky. Like Connor Geeky? For 60 years, we've been beside you. Is there a different Geeky? Like Connor Geeky, though, right? Because Connor Geeky's drafted already. Because his brother's in the NHL. Yeah, Connor Geeky's already drafted. Celebrini and Allard were the only two players on Canada that weren't drafted. Yeah. But I would agree with you otherwise. Like he looked really good at this tournament too. I mean, like he plays with spunk, right? And I hope Sweden wins, and I think they still have a good chance. I completely agree with you. Sweden has been sticking in there, and they are what we like to call a patient team, right? They'll play dump and chase the entire game, tire out the defenseman, because after a while, what defensemen do, if you keep dumping and chasing, your defenseman will start to turn, right? And whenever you have to turn, that takes some energy out of you. And what you do is you start to cheat. So instead of pressing up on a basically the blue line, you turn around and you go chase the puck. You start to back off, and you start to see that throughout the game and what sort of happens there. So cool, Eiserman. Not quite sure, but nonetheless here. And so like after a while, what the defense will start to do is back up, and that's when you have problems. If you're the U.S., if Sweden didn't score, the game would be over. I completely agree. That was a must-score power play, and I mean, look, all credit to them. They scored, right? They did what they needed to do, and that's good for them. That's good on them. They earned their goal there, and I mean, you got to do that, right? And for those who are looking before, Isaac Howard is a Tampa Bay draft pick. I think we already found that one out, but I know we were talking about that earlier. But yeah, we got a heck of a game here. So definitely stay tuned. 3-2 after 2. And it's really anyone's game. We've seen this time and time again. If you are new here, be sure to drop a like, subscribe, all of that. Also, let us know who you're cheering for in the chat, as well as hit the poll. Let us know who you think will win. Currently, we're at 58% for the U.S., 42% for the Swedes. 52 votes have been registered, so be sure to get your vote in. And let us know who you think is going to win. It's going to be a heck of a game here, a heck of a finish. So definitely stay tuned. If you are new, remember, put the game on beside you. We'll be talking about it, analyzing it, doing all of that. But yeah, I mean, there's not too much to talk about. This tournament has been a great tournament. We'll talk about it a lot in this recap video coming up, because there's not too much to talk about in these games typically. I mean, you can normally summarize a game in about a minute if you're doing a good job of it. So in this recap video coming up, we'll talk about the tournament. But one of the things I really want to draw attention to is, we've been talking about this a lot the last couple of years, about how well Celebrity going first and Eiserman going second. Yeah, I could definitely see that. Another player I'm looking at is Oh, his name's escaping me right now. The Finnish guy. Why is his name escaping me? God, I can't remember his name right now. Anyway, the Finnish guy who played really well at this tournament too. God, I can't. The name is just escaping me right now. But just in terms of this tournament overall, so far, it's honestly been, a competitive year. And whenever you have a competitive year, it's just good hockey. You look at it. This first game of the first of the day, you had Canada and Finland, which is always a great start to any game. You had the Czechs and the Slovaks. There's your first upset. The Slovaks taking over the Czechs, and I mean, you look at it, right? The Slovaks just missed out on their semifinal bid, a chance at the medals, and they would have gone really far if they would have won that one game. I think they just sort of struggled against Finland, sort of find their ice, and then overtime killed them because they're a team that plays a really trap style. And yeah, Consuelo, thank you. That's the name I'm looking for. Honestly, I could see him going early too. Honestly, like in my opinion, he looked really good at this tournament. It wasn't really what he did on the scoreboard per se, but the way he sort of played, I like the way he basically battled on both ends of the ice. And for me, like I'm also a sucker for any juniors players. So if you're at this tournament and you're playing at the World Juniors, I'm always going to pick you a little bit higher. But Hellenius really impressed me, I have to say. He looked the part, and that's what you want to see, out of a potential first overall pick. And I wouldn't say he performed better than, say, a guy like Macklin Celebrini, but he was also pretty solid, right? My God, they're glazing like crazy TSN right now. Sorry. I just tuned out for like a split second. All I hear is, oh, what a great hit by McGardery and what a great call by the referees for not calling a hit. Like it was a crazy play and it was a really good hit. Like, come on, guys. Really? Really? Honestly, sometimes. But anyway, it's been a good tournament, honestly. Like, the second day was the Germany over Finland upset, first time. And do you want to hear a song? What song are we listening to? I'm afraid to ask. Because what's the second day? Second day was the Finland Germany upset, and then it was third day was your blowouts, I think, and then remember the Sweden Finland game. Oh, Canada lost to Sweden on the 28th, I think it was, or 29th. But it's really been anyone's tournament, and we saw Norway almost upset the U.S. That was a crazy game, and I mean, we like a couple bounces away, and 4-1 game was your final on a U.S. Norway game, and that was against one of the best U.S. teams we've seen at this entire tournament. I mean, I don't know. It's just been a special tournament, I have to say, right? But anyway, in all honesty, you got to say, right? You got to respect a good tournament when they put it together. This year's been a special tournament. It's been the last 2 years, I'd say, especially. It's really been, we've seen new, I'm actually watching the TSN feed instead of the Finnish feed. Yeah, I mean, like, but it's just been a special tournament, right? And I mean, can I, is that copywritten, or can I use that in my recap video today? The US is overrated. Yeah, something like that. Did I meet your stamp of approval? Please don't take this live stream down because I copyrighted it. Just made it up. I know you did. Too funny. I might use that if the US finds a way to blow this game. Be on the lookout for it. If I remember, it'll go in. The US is over. That's honestly kind of a jam, I have to say. I'm definitely stealing that. Assuming it doesn't get stuck in my head first. But anyway, what was I talking about? Oh, right. The the thing I've kept trying to talk about, but I keep getting distracted because I'm very good at procrastinating this topic. But it's been a heck of a game, right? It's been a special tournament, and I appreciate all you guys sticking around, watching all the recap videos. We've hit so many milestones along the way. We got a new top video. One of the recap videos hit 8K, 8,000 views, which is crazy. U.S. scoring next goal gets them comfortable, and 2 more is the dagger. I think I completely agree. Honestly, like one goal is a momentum booster, and like we say, when it rains, it pours. Sweden right now is the team with momentum, though. I will mention that, right? Because they scored a late goal. Normally, when you see a team score a late goal, they bring that momentum into the next period. We'll see if the U.S. can stifle that. Be an interesting game, nonetheless. But honestly, like this has been a great time, and I thank all of you guys for joining the streams and watching the videos and just being a part of the community. It's been a lot of fun. It's been a lot of fun making content. So thanks you to each and every single one of you. It's been special. But with that being said, I guess we'll move on to what these TSN guys are talking about with a little bit more spunk. We'll talk about the World Juniors for 2 years from now in the Twin Cities with Luke Tadif announcing that they're going to be playing in the Twin Cities, which is Minnesota, for those who don't know. And it's going to be I think that'll be a pretty good location for them. Minnesota is a huge, huge hockey town. And I mean, it's an impressive, it'll be an impressive venue. They'll play some really good hockey there, and they'll get a lot of turnout from the fans. So I think it's going to be a really, really solid tournament. And then next year in Ottawa too, we'll get our first look at Kazakhstan in a couple of years. They'll be back up in the top group, and they'll be replacing Norway as the team that got relegated. So once again, though, that'll make for another good tournament, right? You have Germany, who upset the Finns this year. That was a first time in 25, like first time ever, and the 0-25 before it. So once again, another special game. Oh, here you go. So 2025 Ottawa, 2026 Minnesota, 2027 Canada, 2028 is Europe, 2029 is Canada. That's a lot of Canada. I don't mind it, but that's a lot of Canada. So that'll make for an interesting tournament, right? Because remember, this tournament's all about making money. So you think about it, right? Canada is by far the country that everyone just watches this thing. It's ingrained in us as kids. Like we all watch the World Juniors. You can go back in the years and ask where anyone was for any one of these Canada games, and like that's what we're raised on. So like just to see it back in Canada makes a lot of sense for them. A lot of people go to these games. They sell out packed arenas and big arenas too, right? So they're looking for that revenue goal. They're going to hit that goal, especially playing in a place like Canada. It just means no more early morning games, which is kind of unfortunate because I really enjoy the morning games. You get to watch hockey, you get to wake up to hockey, and then you get to, have the rest of your day on tap. But, it's just it's an exciting time. Okay, how's everybody doing in the chat here? Are we ready for this period coming up? Are we nervous at all? Are we feeling like, the Swedes are going to come back and win it all? Or are we thinking it's something to do in the morning? Well, exactly, right? Like, what else are you going to do on a Friday morning in the middle of January or start of January or middle of Christmas? I don't really know. It's something to do when you're off, right? And I mean, it's an enjoyable time and something we all, I think, at least enjoy watching just by the turnout I've seen, which is really good. But I mean, good for the IIHF. They've got their act together. We got mad at them a couple years ago, but they've turned it around, and all credit to them for that. For those who don't know, I had an entire rant video about when they canceled everything because like they're in the bubble and then they weren't in the bubble and then they canceled it because no one was in the bubble. There was a long rant about that. But anyway, it is what it is, right? But with that being said, I think we're just about getting going here for the start of the third period action. We'll throw it up on the board. 3-2 for the U.S. They are leading, and we will see if they can keep it going. Obviously, this game is it's winner take all. Winner gets to go. Do you watch Bar Down? As a matter of fact, I do watch Bar Down. Third, 20-0-0. Yeah, yeah. It's been they have a good channel running, and they're good comedy when there's not much comedy in the running. As we are just about to start the third period of action here. Stay tuned. Reactions will be crazy here. Favorite video? Oh, that's a good question. Oh, well, it has to be one of the quiz videos. I think we can both agree on that. It's a good question. My favorite video would probably be I like the one where they named like the A to Z players. That one was cool, and the numbers one, because you sort of like get to play along, right? So it's kind of neat to say, okay, let's like that and that. But really, any of the videos they make are entertaining, and I mean that's what I try and resemble some of my stuff off of. But there's also the hockey guy. He's a big inspiration for the channel. Because before we got into like the graphics and stuff, it was like the whiteboard, and you did it off that. You can sort of still see with the whiteboards, but it's still fun. It's something to watch on a random day, but yeah, they run a good channel over there. Good play, good save. 3-2. 17-16 in shots heading into the third. 19-50 now to play. But we have ourselves a game here, and it's going to be a really, I want to say, exciting finish, I think, between these two powerhouse teams. So we'll see. Lane Hudson is leading the U.S. in ice time with like 20 minutes of time through 2 periods, which is kind of crazy. Becker McGorty, good play. There you go. Good. Very good. Good play. Okay. Oslin on the side. Good play. Good. It's a good block in front. But we got to remember, right? There was 1 weak goal in this game from that corner, like in that corner spot where they shot it in from behind the red line. I'm sure that's going through Havlid's mind right now. Oh, good attempt. It's a good play. It's that backdoor jam pass. It's up in the air. Never mind. Nice and close. The Swedes are buzzing here. Good play. Good. Oh, he missed it. Okay, there. Okay. Good possession here from the Swedes. They're looking like they've. Oh, as soon as I say that, of course they ice the puck. They don't really show that good of stuff, but nonetheless, it's going to make for a interesting finish here, I think. We'll see if the Swedes can pull this one off. I mean, they've been buzzing, so I guess we'll see. Shot. Oh, that's a tough goal. 4-2 U.S. Is this Braden coming back to tell me that the U.S. scored? Where is he? Dang. Well, it's a 4-2 hockey game for the U.S. of A. As we think there's about 18-ish minutes left in this game. It ain't that cruel, but how huge! It honestly is huge. It's did it hit him? No, that just beat Havlid. Oh, that's a tough goal to let up. Oh, and we got Superman here. That's that was a tough goal to let up there. Tough goal to let up, I gotta say, especially as a team that had the momentum going. That's a tough goal, So we'll see. If you are new here, be sure to drop in the poll who you think will win. Sweden is starting to, I think, will slowly start to put on the pressure here on the U.S. as there's another giveaway. Oh, good save by Trey Augustine. Good rebound control. He let the puck go, but made it his way back. So that's all you need to do. Big rebound, big juicy rebound, as I like to say up here. Yeah, it's going to be a tight game, tight all the way to the finish, right? That's how these games normally go between the U.S. and Swedes. There you go, giveaway in the end. Oh, what are you doing? It's McGordy. It's the one name I just can't say at this tournament. Rutger McGordy. Gordy. Good solid play here. Dump and chase. That's what you need to do if you're a Swede still. See if they can keep it rolling. And like the States will slowly start to pick up their game from here on in because they have a little bit of confidence. Their momentum's starting to go. Now it's just a matter of if the Swedes can stifle that momentum. But we'll see. Try not to imagine the game in my head anymore because I'm not watching it anymore. Well, I mean, it's you got 16 and a half to play in the third period. 4-2 hockey game for the US of A. But yeah, it's just been a good game. Can't draw with this marker I've learned today. 16:30. So it's just been a good game, right? And when it's a good game, you can't complain unless your team's losing, because then you can't complain. But it's not my team, I guess, so I can't be too sad. 16:30 to go in the 4-2 gold medal game in the third period between Sweden and the US of A. We will see if the US can pull this one off. That's a good hit. Okay. So they put it out. Good pat. Oh, who's there? Oh, there's a Swede there. Okay. Just sort of passed it out into the middle of the ice. Thought it might have been just a giveaway. Another turnover by the Swedes in the neutral zone as Brindley comes in. Good save. We'll see here. I mean, 16 minutes left to play. Going to be a tight checking affair here. Say like Rutger McGordy. That actually helps. Okay, just saw the goal. Goalie. Saw the goal. Goalie overplaying the puck. Yeah, that's sort of what happened there. He sort of just overslid, and when you overslide, you get your stick caught on that side post, and you just can't recover from it. Oh, that's a good play. Tried the old skate tipper there. We saw that one going off. Barrett Hayden, I think, back in that Russia game, 2019, I think, right? Canada Russia 2019. Yeah. See, because the years always mess me up because there's like different years from when the tournaments are. Because they always run over 2 years, right? So for me, like I remember them like within a certain span. Because I know it was either 1819 or 1920. I just can't remember. Which set of tournaments it was because I can never tell how they sort of organize the tournaments. I know it was in 19. I just don't remember which how they call it. But it's always an interesting one, right? Like this game is far from over, I might add as well, because we've seen Sweden, right? They're not going to roll over. They want this gold medal in front of their home crowd. They have one goal, and it's going to be don't be doing that. That's a toe drag in your own end. Right in front of the net with like no support. I'm just saying, never do that, especially if you do play hockey. It's how you get your goalie to hate you. But a good little play here. Where's puck gone? Oh, there it is. All right. 15 minutes to play here in the third period. Running out of time for the Swedes. Been looking pretty solid. If you are new here, be sure to like, subscribe, as well as let me know who you're cheering for in the chat, as well as click the poll. Let me know who you think is going to win. Currently a 60-40 split. The U.S. is favored over Sweden by 10%, I guess, 5%. So, 57 votes on the poll. So if you're new here, be sure to good save. Be sure to click the poll and let me know who you think's going to win. But we got quite the game going on here. 4-2 for the USA. They've played a heck of a game so far. I think we're just under 14 minutes to play, something like that. 14:30 to play left in this third period. It's been an energetic game, to be honest with you, and it's just one of those solid games all around. It's the gold medal games you look for, right? It's whether it's Canada or not. All I want to see in a gold medal game is a tight checking, good, like not high scoring per se, but like enough of a score for it to be a competitive game. And this is definitely delivered. Good save. I think the USA has got them buffaloed. Yeah, well, we'll see. I mean, once again, though, right? Plenty of time. 14:10 still to go. And we'll see if Sweden can pull this off. Because there's lots of time, right? It's not going to be a matter of if they run out of time. It's going to end up being if they can if they can put this puck in the net. And I guess we'll see. Okay, that looks good. All right. But yeah, so we'll see here. 14:10 to go. Face-off has been won by the Americans as they move the puck up the ice. Tip play. Good dumping. Nazar's got it around the net, packing him up. He did not pick him up. High slot shot there. It's a good play. That's what you look for out of the Americans, right? Because Sweden's going to start getting sloppy, looking for offensive chances. That's not going to be a penalty, okay? Refs are putting away their whistles, as they should, right? I don't want to see a lot of penalty calls in this back half of the period. We've seen enough penalty calls from the Swedes, so we'll see. Good stop by Augustine. That's a high stick. They're not going to call that a penalty. Wow. There's just a high stick there that I could have sworn was going to be a penalty. Ostlund with the puck. We'll see how he does here. Luckermacki in the corner. So you sort of see now, right? This game's starting to get a little bit chippy again. That's a hand pass, yeah. So a hand pass. 13:03 left to play in the third period. So once again, lots of action still to be played, but they're starting to get to that point, right, where they're running out of time in this hockey game. 13:03 left in the third period. We'll see if Sweden has one last rush in them, because at the end of the day, right, they're 100% running out of time now. So we will see if they can pick it up. If they can't, then that's going to be the game, right? So we'll see. But nonetheless, it's going to be a good finish to this game. It always is. It's the gold medal game. Stakes are at their highest in this game, right? U.S. has some history with the Swedes. The U18s last year or 2 years ago, I guess it was last year, ended with the Swedes beating the U.S. And, they don't remember that. Or they remember that. They haven't forgotten that, put it that way. And the U.S. wants to win this game, especially because they're playing the Swedes. And I don't blame them. You hold grudges, especially after a while. So I don't know. We'll see. Going to make for a great ending to this game. Be sure to stay tuned. But if you are new here, be sure to like, subscribe, as well as let us know who you think is going to win in the polls. So let me know who you're cheering for in the chat below. So let's say hi in the chat. They're reviewing something. Why do they keep? Oh my God, he got one right in the lip. Oh my gosh. That's a high stick if I've ever seen a high stick from Ostlund. That's a 4-minute penalty for sure. He killed. Oh my God. Oh, that's a.
It's amazing that you can swing your stick there. If you hit the puck when it's in the air, it's okay. If you miss it.
Yeah, I guess it comes down to if you hit the puck or not.
And David Carl's watching right away. Say, hang on. We got a power play coming now. Remember,
this might be a tough break for the U.S. Well, that could be a follow through. Yeah, it didn't look like it hit the stick though, so it's looking like he'll be in the box, but we'll see. There might be some added time on this clock here. We'll stay tuned. Hey, yeah, yeah. I said, hey, what's going on? Honestly, what is going on here? But it's looking like it's going to be a 4-minute power play for the U.S. here. We'll see if they can. We'll see if they can put one in. Because once again, if they put one more up on the board here, it's likely spelling the end. But we also saw earlier today, right, with the Czechs, the Finland game. The Czechs put in a shorthanded goal, and that momentum carried through. Yeah, he missed that puck completely. That's going to be a 4-minute penalty. That's going to be a tough break. Yeah, 4-minute, 4-minute, I think, right here. What it should be. We'll see if it is or not, but we're waiting just for the call. I don't think they've. I don't think he touched the puck, to be honest. But we'll see here. Here we go. Here's the call. Four-minute power play for high sticking for the U.S. upcoming, or penalty, if however you want to call it, against Sweden. The U.S. will be on the power play for 4 minutes, which is going to be a tough kill for Sweden. So we'll see if they end up getting sloppy. I'm under the impression he'd have to. I guess not. But anyway, tough call for the Swedes there. That's a tough penalty to take from Östlund. He's got to. You got to be careful swinging your stick around, especially, when you got the U.S., who seems to be, every time they're on this power play, it seems to be in the back of the net. So we'll see if this continues here. It's going to be probably the clock. How much time's left, I think, is what they're looking at right now. But we'll see. Obviously, Swedish fans are starting to get a little bit unhappy with these refs, and rightfully so. I mean, they just got a 4-minute penalty call on them that they didn't call the first time, but we'll see. It's going to be an interesting one. Here we go. So 13:03, so no time was added back on the clock, but it is what it is, I guess. We will see. It was legit. 100% it was a penalty. That like I always complain about the refs, but that is a legit penalty. You can't swing a stick in someone's face. And all credit to them. They went to the review. They got the call right in the end, but I mean, there you go. So they're trying a little bit more of a structure here where it's sort of just chaos. They're trying the attack strategy where they just keep closing in the gap. This is more of a North American structure. I don't normally see that much in Europe, but what they like to try here is just guy here, guy here, guy here, guy here, guy here. So it's the same sort of structure you normally see, but their goal is that if they can move this down any way possible, they can move the defensive box any way down. They want to eliminate this part of the ice. And you'll see it as they start going. This part of the ice will slowly but surely start moving up, and they're going to try and minimize the amount of space for the goalie to have time to move. As this will also be getting tighter, and this will also be getting tighter. These guys will get tighter. These guys will get tighter, and basically their goal is just to collapse everything at the net. If they can collapse it at the net, then it's just a lot harder for our goalie to save, right? Because there's so many different options. Disgustingly bad refs, not even fun to watch. I complain a lot about the refs, but they got that call. It's legit Sweden versus refs. I wouldn't go that far as much as the U.S. will always score on their power play, but I definitely hear what you're saying. There have been a couple penalties called against Sweden in this game. But the same thing, could be said about the Finland game yesterday, right? Where there's that backdoor play. They really like that backdoor play that they're looking at. But there you go. So 2 minutes, 2.5 minutes left on this first power play in the first half of the power play. There'll be another 2-minute penalty assessed after. So we'll see. They have to kill off 30 seconds left in this one, and then if they score, the U.S. are lucky with refs in both semis and finals. Well, sure. I don't disagree with that at all. Refs did a great job, and that is hard for me to say. It's hard for me to say too because I've been very critical of them. There you go. See, once again, if the Swedes pull their goalie, the U.S. will get an empty net. They just have to play together and get some shots. Well, absolutely, right? They're like after this power play is done. So the first part of the minor has been served. So if the U.S. scores here, it'll be a 5-2 game. Otherwise, it'll be a 4-2 game with about 9 minutes left after this power play. No, never mind. There's a blue guy there. The U.S. does have a guy back. There you go. And here comes the U.S. play. Here we go. Watch this. This is what the U.S. looks to do as they miss the net completely, but you'll see it here. Watch as this box will slowly but surely start to get tighter, right? They're going to start to close in. This defenseman's going to start sneaking as soon as they can get it low puck. Hello? There we go. Because the biggest problem, right, is that if they start sneaking up, then more – they're not going to call that a penalty, nor should they. Sorry, there's just like a weird sort of boarding play there. I wasn't sure if they'd call a penalty on that because they are probably going to start looking for ways to even it up just because that's what refs have to do, right? They have to sort of try and even it up so that way. What's it now? Oh, it's well, I guess you can't really see that. It's it's 4-2 for the U.S. The U.S. is on the power play. There's about 10 minutes left in the game. So just about who's winning now? The U.S. is winning 4-2 over the Swedes. 10 minutes left in the third period. So they're just about to the end of this game. So definitely stay tuned. You'll get full reaction analysis, all of that. So just make sure you have the game on in another room and turn us on as well because we'll give you some analysis. You'll get the general commentary as well. It's really all you can ever ask and hope for. So anyway, 4-2. Can you show match? I can't, unfortunately. But what you can do is just search on YouTube. There's a million different sites. Just put us on the background, and yeah, you'll hear all the analysis you need. It's because of copyright problems. If I do, my stream will get taken down, so I just can't. I can't stream it, unfortunately. I do not quite have the rights for it from Russia. There you go. All wide open. Oh, great block. 9:20 left. Who are you cheering for then? With love. With love. Who are you cheering for then? U.S. or Sweden? I think I kind of guessed the answer to that one. There you go. Oh, there you go. Did he save that? What a save. And U.S. guy gets buried. I think he must have gone after the goalie or something. So it looks like they just wanted to murder him. Here you go. What a save. Oh, that is a beautiful save. That's not even like a poor shot. The goalie just jumped. Oh, you're cheering for the U.S.? Very nice. There's about 9 minutes left now. We have, once again, a 4-2 hockey game. This is going to be a tight game right to the very end. So be sure to stay tuned. I saw last match, USA and Finland. That was a really good game, and just unfortunate to see it get decided by one little penalty near the end. But it is what it is, right? That's hockey for you. You got to be careful with what you do, and USA was good. Yeah, USA's looked really good at this tournament. They've definitely looked like the best team we've seen in a long time, at least in my opinion. But they've looked really solid, and all credit to them. They've played their game, and they haven't got too, distracted with what the other team does. But they'll always be a team that'll trade chance for chance, and they'll normally win those games. So in the case for Sweden, they just have to play good defensive hockey, keep the pucks to the outside of the ice and trust their goalie Havlid to make the saves. He's had some problems with that today. So it's just sort of tough for them. That's a great save. Honestly, here we go. And then there's the fight after. So I don't know if they're going to call any extra for that. Ryan Leonard and Elias Pettersson are the two. I'm from Russia, Matur, and now live in St. Peters. I know of St. Petersburg. I'm not sure about the other one. I know St. Petersburg, though. Yeah. But anyway, it is what it is. So we got 9 minutes left, or 8:59. We're halfway there. Whoa, we're living on a prayer. It's in my head. We'll make it, I swear. But anyway, so we got 4-2. About 9 minutes left in this game. Sweden, they need to find their gap here and capitalize on it. So it's just a matter of if they can or not. I'm from Canada, as you can probably tell by the background. I just have to cheer for Sweden today because the U.S. is playing them. So I cheer against the U.S. This is it. Yeah, this game might these next couple minutes might honestly determine the end of this game. So, if you're oh, here we go. And if you're Sweden, one quick thing about Sweden here, if you don't take care of your own end, if you don't play disciplined, you're going to have a problem. You can't score extra goals on the US. You have to make sure you're defensive minded first, and then the offense will come. Good old-fashioned Field of Dreams quote for my baseball fans. If you build it, they will come. You play good defense. I kind of have to agree with that. I think the U.S. does have it, but it's still a really, really tight game, And, we'll see. Obviously, 4-2 game coming into the final couple minutes here. 8.5 to go. Okay, like and subscribe. Take care of everything we got. Thank you so much. Yep, be sure to like, subscribe. Let us know who you're cheering for down in the chat if you are new. But yeah. Oh, just missed Augustine's glove there. That could have been a bad chance. Just sort of tipped off the edge. So we'll see here. We have 8 minutes left to play. This is where game gets really, really interesting, right? You have it's anybody's game, and at this point in time, we'll see if the Swedes can play their game and figure it out. Good. Oh, just missed the net. You got to get that puck on net if you can. Like any way possible, USA win. Yeah, we'll see if USA takes it. Obviously, they're a good team. So, when you're the US, you gotta certainly go for it, right? It's a good play. But anyway, 4-2, 7.5 minutes to play. We will see if there you go. Leckram just couldn't get there, but we'll see here. So 7.5 to play. USA with the streaker. Nope, over wide and out. Just not out. It's a problem with Sweden right now. They're having real difficulties getting it past that U.S. blue line on trying to get the puck out, like breaking out. They have to find new guys to try and hit on their way out. They're just really struggling with that. Oh, good hit. It's a good hit by, I don't know who it was. I think it was Ostlund maybe. It's a good solid hit though. That's what you need to do. There you go. Good dump and chase. Now you got to get in there and good play. Good play by the U.S. forward there, and Sandine Pellick picks it. Or I guess he doesn't pick it. Someone else. They're just by the way, Sweden's jerseys are really hard to see. Like the numbers on them and the names are like commentators' nightmare material. But anyway, with that being said, it's been a great game so far. 4-2, 6.5 to play in the third period. Really not much more that you can ask for out of a gold medal game. Nice and close, relatively decent scoring so far, and honestly, it's anybody's game to this point. They just Sweden has to get going here if they want any shot at taking out the U.S., who have been the best teams at this tournament. And we'll see. It's a good place. There you go. That's good. Very good. Breakout, and now let's go. Oh, off the foot. See, that's the problem with the U.S. right now is that they're really just struggling to Sweden rather. They're just struggling to get that puck on the net. They got to be careful here. They could get a slash or a hook. You got to be really disciplined because any penalty basically sinks you at this point, right? If you're Sweden, you got to be really careful. Once again, they missed the net. It goes wide and it gets cleared basically. I guess it doesn't this time. That's good. Good keeping by the Swedish defenseman there. Oh, just missed. Oh, that just missed. Oh, Augustine, that was a weird bounce at the end. It almost went in off Augustine. No. Oh, missed the net. Nazar missed the net. Or Nazar just missed the net. 4-2, 5 minutes to play in this period. We'll see if they can keep it going here. Sweden has looked really good the last couple minutes. Desperation is starting to kick in for them. So, I guess we'll see, right? .4:30 to go. Sweden is running out of time, though, so it is going to be desperation. All will kick in. We'll see if, obviously, if Sweden can find their little groove here. Oh, I got to hit the net. This is their problem. They just keep – they're like Canada yesterday against the Czechs, or 2 days ago against the Czechs. 3 days ago now. Today is the 5th. It's 3 days ago against the Czechs, and just can't find it. If you want to score goals, you got to hit the net. Like famous Gretzky or Michael Scott quote, you miss 100% of the shots you don't take, and you miss 100% of the shots you don't hit the net on. Oh, boy. Oh, boy. Oh, boy. And the U.S. scores. That's it. That's probably going to finish it. That's all. I honestly think that might be all she wrote. 5-2 USA over Sweden. 4 minutes to go. Tough game for the Swedes. Just not much you can do. 3:48 to go. This is either going to be the greatest comeback of all time or just expected at this point. 3:48 to play. I mean, yep. Braden is back. You can breathe a little. Easier, I guess. But anyway, that is your score. 5-2 for the U.S. of A. It was a good shot, but it just beat him, and you could see it coming out. Poor pinch by Salmonson, and Ryan Leonard just buried it, Great shot. Job ain't done, road to three-peat. You know what? Honestly, I'd like to see that. I'm kidding. That's a joke. I would not like to see the U.S. three-peat. But, I mean, if, Canada couldn't do it this year, there's always the curse of the three-peat. As he signals to the crowd, let me hear it. That is a ambitious play there. But anyway, it is what it is, I mean, Sweden's played good to this point, They just they haven't buried their chances. Do you know the three fastest goals scored in the NHL? Sweden might do it, honestly. Well, we saw it today. The Czechs put in 4 goals in so the empty net is now for Sweden, and this is probably going to do it. No, that is all she wrote. 6-2, Rutger McGroarty with the game winner, or the last goal here. And that likely will spell the end for Sweden. The U.S. looks like they will win this game on bearing some miraculous comeback. McGroarty coming back from injury. His story is incredible. If you haven't already, that's one to I can't really do it justice here, but basically he was injured, came all the way back from injury to play in this tournament. He's the captain. And then hey, goodbye. Yep. Might want to start singing that one from our Swedes in the chat. But Augustine tells him, let me hear it. I don't blame him. He's and the Americans get cocky, as they always do. Howard or Cutter MVP? 21 seconds. Well, today it was 4 goals in the span of 40 seconds, right? Augustine, best goalie of the tournament. I completely agree with that one. He was outstanding. Him and Guyon as well. Like Adam Guyon was another one who I'd say is definitely up there. Just fell a little bit short, right? Oh my God, the stick got caught in the netting. So where was I? Howard or Cutter MVP? I'm gonna take probably Cutter Gauthier. Like he's been lights out at this tournament. So if I had to lean, I'd say him. But Isaac Howard's another good one, right? Like the U.S. has just looked really good at this tournament. So I don't know. 3 minutes left to play. 6-2. We'll see if the probably should change the score. And so just sort of that tough zone. If the U.S. is smart here, they just pass the puck around, end the game out, bleed the clock, and just sort of a good game played today. Just fell a little short for the Swedes. And now they're just going to try and bury their own goals. 2:30 left now. we're just about done here. This has been an ending. It's just a little bit fell a little short for the Swedes this year, as their curse continues. 2 in the last, I think, 44 years or something. Remember, the refs didn't decide this game. Oh no, absolutely not. No. At the end of the day, right? Sweden had their looks. The U.S. played a really disciplined game today. They weren't sloppy at all. And I'll be back. Gonna watch the ceremony. Yep, for sure. Enjoy. Just sort of unfortunate loss today, you know. Congrats to the refs on the goal. The refs weren't the deciding factors in this one. I trust me, as someone who normally will blame refs, it wasn't the refs on this one. I mean, in all honesty, they played. You know, both teams played well. It's just the U.S. won their chances and probably has 3 people on the all tournament team: Cutter, Howard, and Augustine. Yeah, no, I'd say that. The one goalie I might add might be Adam Guyon, but I don't know. I don't think they'd put him again. It's just hard to say, right? Because, I mean, he played really well, but they were, buddy. I have to disagree with you. You know, Swedes had their looks. The U.S. had their looks. At the end of the day, the U.S. scored on theirs, and Sweden couldn't. So this thing is not liking me right now. But 6-2 is likely going to be your final. 1 minute to play in this game. Coco was really good as well. Yeah, no, I'd say that. He struggled at times. This bronze medal game might have lost it for him. But Coco was, he had his moments too. He started rough though, right? Like his first couple games, because he was in net for that Germany game. Didn't play that well, in my opinion. But I don't complain about refs, but this game was terrible then. Yeah, well. Oh, are they fighting again? Yeah, there we go. This is what I miss about there we go. They're actually fighting. Here we go. This is what I miss about hockey, baby. Oh, this is awesome. They're actually fighting, but they're not allowed to take their gloves off or else they all get suspended. So they're just fighting with gloves. This is what hockey is, by the way. This is why you don't take cheap shots, because at the end of the game, everything gets resolved. This is what happens, right? You want to fight someone, or if you want to take cheap hits, that's what happens. McGroarty took a cheap hit at this, or basically gave a cheap hit at this, and about the second period. This is what happened. As once again, Americans are cocky too. It's true. No offense, but oh my God, the blood on that jersey is off the chart. Add boxing gloves to the IIHF. Honestly, though, like I stand by the fact that there should be fighting in this tournament. Like, I get they're juniors, but I mean, if you're gonna make a cheap run at someone, you better expect to get punched in the face. Like, it's just how hockey is, you know. You got to stand up for your teammates, and this is what happens. Bad slash, bad cross check by Gauthier. Gauthier takes 2 hacks, and all heck breaks loose. But this is what hockey is, you know. You don't take bad runs at people, or else you have to answer the call. And today you're going to answer the call for it. But it's this is what the World Juniors is all about. The 3 in the penalty box are all celebrating with the Swedish fans. That's actually kind of dangerous. The police or the security or whatever are behind the bench or behind that penalty box right now, as the Swede fans are relatively close. Did you know you might get the Guinness top announcer to broadcast with a whistle? Top announcer to broadcast with a whistle. Well, I appreciate that. Do you want my new song or both? You know what? Hit me. I might have to sing it. I want to know. So it looks like that'll spell the end for the Swedes. But broadcast without a whistle. Yeah. I appreciate that. 6-2-0-31. 31 seconds left in this game. Both are won. Come on, hit me with both. I want to hear all of them. I need some inspiration. Oh, and they're writing in the book of who's getting all the penalties. So it's a tough loss for the Swedes, man. That hurt. just lost out. All three of the teams I've cheered for in this tournament, or all four, I guess, because I was cheering for the Slovaks at one point, and if you are new here, though, be sure to drop a subscribe, like, and all that. And also be sure to wait for the recap video. That'll be coming out a little bit later, where we'll break down the entire tournament and basically just take a look back on what this tournament's been. We'll take a look, obviously, at the games from today, but more importantly, we'll take a look at the entire tournament. The upsets, the surprises, the tears, the joys, everything you can ever wish for. Did great job. Nice talking to you. At least you talk to your fans. I appreciate you tuning in. Honestly, you guys make it so much better. So thank you to each and every one of you guys for watching. It's been a pleasure. As the refs are now getting kicked out, or sorry, not the refs, rather. Sorry, two of the Swedes are getting kicked out. McGorty is going to be right on the tunnel. He's going to be right beside it. Lane Hudson and McGorty are both going to be. They're mocking him, which is really funny. But anyway, as I like to say, you win some, you lose some. It ain't always home runs, but that's just the way life goes. The U.S. today they played their game. The Swedes just lost out. It wasn't their day. Some days you win some days you lose some, and some days you're the 24 Swedes. Sorry, you'll learn it's a lot of country music coming from me. I like my country. So now let's see if the U.S. is overrated. The U.S. got lucky. All right, that one wins. See, there's a fight here at the end of the game. I think they'll be relatively civilized, but this will probably spell the end of this game. See if they try and score for one more. But 20 seconds left. That spells the end to the 2024 World Juniors. We're on the clock. Who cares? Super Bowl style. Completely agree. So 7 seconds. That will spell the end. 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. The U.S. are your 2024 World Junior Champions. And once again, well-deserved. Well deserved. They played a heck of a game today. Earned every step of the way. And it was just nice to see, they've earned it. Best team in the tournament. Did not disappoint. Earned every step of their win. Did not blow it like a lot of people expected them to. Not pointing fingers, but a lot of people expected them to. But yeah, no, they played a heck of a game today, and they earned every step of that win. They earned every step of their tournament. They had a close run in. They played a really good game against the Finns to get to this point. They played a heck of a round robin preliminary round. Started off a little rough. They played against Norway, almost lost that game. 4-1 was your final, but in reality, the U.S. could have played a lot better, and they found their groove, and they just kept marching from there. Overtime or shootout win rather against the Czechs. They won their game against. Congrats to the refs, but they earned that, and they had a rough start. But as they say, it's not about how you start, but how you finish. And the finish might not have won today, but there's. Oh my God, you predicted no U.S. medal and predicted no U.S. gold. Your predictions suck. Yeah, no, I'll eat that one. You're onto it. I mean, to be honest though, right? Like they were this close, and I still stand by the fact that if the U.S. would have played the Czechs would have won. And just the way they play just counters what the U.S. does, and the Finns were this close, right? The Finns were one bounce away. But nonetheless, you're the U.S. are your 2024 World Junior Champions, and they earned it. So I can't be mad at it. They. Oh, I remember you, Hank. You're the one that commented. I apologize. I was wrong. You're right. But I still stand by the fact that I honestly think that if Finland would have, and another bad prediction from you. Yep. No, I've earned that one. But nonetheless, will you sing my song? It might make its way into the video. We'll see. the US is overrated. The US got lucky, and the US lucky say otherwise. I'll get punchy. The US got lucky. The U.S. did get punchy. I respect that though, right? Like Sweden, the game's done. They're gonna settle their scores and they're gonna do it properly. And I respect that. I respect the U.S. fighting back. They did it proper, and that's what it should be. You fight once and you're done with it. Now it's all respect and the handshake line. We'll see if it is. Obviously, we've seen some problems already in this tournament in the handshake line, especially with Sweden, who's it's the word I'm looking for. A little chippy when it comes to the handshake line. So we'll see if there's any sort of fighting, any of that. And obviously, we've also seen some medals get thrown into the stands. So we'll be watching for that one. I don't think that's going to happen. I hope that doesn't happen, but we will see. Obviously, lots of medals to still be won, but nonetheless, exciting for the U.S. They win their first since 2021 because it's 2024, so first in about 3 years. Sweden, once again, still struggling, cannot find the finish, despite them being neighbors to them. Sorry, bad joke. I'm sorry. That's the part where all you guys start laughing. That one was a funny one. No finish, even though they're like neighbors. No. All right. But with that being said, it's been a great tournament. The U.S. earned every step of their way. Started off rough, made their comeback. Rutger McGroarty, of all people, he's one that really earned it, and he's come back from an injury, really really scary injury in the NCAA. And Hugo best goalie. Who's Hugo? Hugo. The old saying, it doesn't matter if you win or lose, it's how you play the game. It's great, honestly. Both teams played great. But it's media, so whatever. Yeah, I mean, honestly, it is what it is. But honestly, every team here can hold their head with their head held high, or can leave this tournament with their head held high. You think about it, right? Let's run through the teams. You have Norway. Norway played a heck of a game against the U.S. Should have probably won. But they aren't like they played that game like Sweden's goalie won best goalie, eh? Yeah, that's actually kind of surprising to me. I'm kind of shocked by that. Germany avoided relegation, beat the Finns for the first time ever. Big held high for them. Sweden almost made it to the semifinals. One overtime, could call it a call away. One penalty call, and they're right back in that game. So head held high for the Swiss. For Latvia, they didn't get relegated. Always a good positive for them. And I mean, hey, they won the game that mattered. They beat Norway. Canada, obviously not their best tournament, but still they played through injury nonstop. You think about all the injuries they had right off the gate. You had a bunch of players step up big time for them. And then we move it down. Slovakia beat the Czechs in the first game. 6-2 was your final. Yeah. And then Slovakia, they played really well. They were this close as well. They were so close to making it far. They beat the Czechs. That was a big deal for them. They should have their head held high. And then we move on to the semifinal teams with Finland. Obviously, Finland beat Slovakia, probably one of the better Slovakian teams we've seen at this tournament. They started rough. They made it all the way to the basically the bronze medal game, the semifinals, just not enough. For the Czechs, I mean, hey, you beat Canada. You made it to the bronze medal game. You won the bronze medal game. Should have your head held high. For Sweden, I mean, they won their group as always. They played a heck of a game against Canada, earned every step of it. All the refs are getting booed. Sweden should have their head held high. They didn't disappoint their home fans. It isn't a gold medal, but at the end of the day, they played a heck of a tournament. They deserve it. And they've earned their thing. And then lastly, the U.S. had a great tournament overall. Here's the deal. If Team USA was wearing a sweater from any other country, you would have been talking the whole tournament how aggressive and rabid these guys are at attacking and scoring. I've been saying that though. And, the truth is the results have spoken for themselves, right? And you can't talk about a 10-1 game outside of, the U.S. played great. And and I mean they've earned it, right? How many 10-1 games did they play? They was 10-4 or something like that against Slovakia, 7-1 against Latvia. The Swiss game was 10-0. Norway game was a blowout. They looked good, but they didn't look as good as they could have looked. And then the Czech game, they did not look good at all. And they played really poorly and almost got beat by the Czechs, So like, and it's not even the fact that there's no respect to them. It's just, what do you want me to say? Like that they slaughtered a team and they looked really good doing it. Like it's just, there's not much to talk about there. And I said the same thing about Canada when they won their blowout games. It's just Canada didn't look as good compared to every other team. So there was a lot less of them. And the group that the U.S. was in, you had Slovakia, you had the Czechs, and Slovakia was a rollover. They didn't start their starting goalie. The Czechs, the Czechs played a pretty good game. They almost beat them. So I could talk about that one a little bit. Norway, the U.S. played terrible, frankly. They looked like they were just stepping on the ice after a long break. But yeah, I mean, there just wasn't much to talk about with the U.S. They looked good and their results spoke for themselves. So at the end of the day, I can talk about how aggressive and rabid they are, but I think the results spoke for themselves on that one. I watched the Swedes goalie went 3-0 with 0 goals against in the first 3 games. Well, exactly, right? Their preliminary round was off the chart, minus that game against Finland, which was really, I assume, was probably his only loss. I mean, hard to get respect when thanks to the refs. You're really pushing this refs one, eh? I respect that. I watched KHL and now results in the future. We can do money. Okay. I mean, hard to get respect when you win the semis and finals thanks to the refs. Once again, though, it's not the refs, right? Like, if you want to blame it on one call, sure, but there's always other chances to win games. It's really hard to blame games on the ref. It was a bad call, absolutely, especially late in the game. But at the same time, Finland had another power play pretty much right after it with the exact same call. So you can make the argument for it, but at the end of the day, it always gets evened out. Everyone gets the same chances in these games. It's just a matter of what you do with them. And that's really a defining factor for a lot of these teams. But anyway, it's been a heck of a tournament, and both teams played great. It's just, one team finished their chances today. That's okay. Don't worry. There's lots of that going around, I'm sure. So one thing you and Hank can agree on, I'm sure, is the fact that you guys disagree with me. But I mean, hey, we didn't, Finland lost by 1 goal, and that was the decider. Just sort of an unfortunate end of the season for Sweden, and the U.S. will go home happy. And I will say it's a lot different than when they started this tournament because, I mean, they almost lost to Norway on the first game, right? That one was probably can finish this board and put final. But they played a heck of a game, and the U.S. The U.S. definitely earned their win, and I'll say that. And so we'll see if obviously next year we have quite the tournament as well, right? We have we're back in Ottawa, we're back in Canada for that one. I think the last time they were in Ottawa was when Subban played, and I'm pretty sure they won gold. So let's hope they can repeat that. And yeah, I mean, we'll get our first look at Kazakhstan in a long time next year. They'll be back in the tournament. They're the promoted team from Division 1A. Be waiting for your video. I appreciate that. Yeah, that'll come out as soon as basically the stream's done. Obviously, we'll record, edit, all that. Probably take about an hour and a half, and then yeah, we'll be yeah, pretty much that. The end poll: U.S. 64%, Sweden to 36%, and yeah, it's been Sweden played a heck of a game. They should hold their heads proud. Just once again, the U.S. was the best team coming into this tournament. They just they couldn't. No one could knock them off. They played what they should do, and they beat the teams they needed to beat. So at the end of the day, earned every step of their win. And Sweden just fell behind. The bad streak or poor streak or whatever you want to call it, streak continues. And they'll go home yet again with no medal. I hope to see my song. We might have to add that in there. but we'll see. Obviously, they've earned it, right? They've certainly earned their win. So good for Sweden and good for the U.S. And yeah. But with that being said, we will, I think, end the stream here as the U.S. will let you guys get back to watching it. Not too much more to add here. Be sure to be on the lookout for the video coming up after this stream's done. Likely by, I'd hope by about 6:30 is what I'm aiming for. I just got to go friend lifted that trophy last year here in Moncton. Oh, that's sweet. But I'll let you guys go. I'll let you watch the medal presentations, the anthem. Obviously, the best part of the tournament is when everyone sings their anthem. So I'll let you guys do that. And yeah, other than that, be sure to be on the lookout for the video recap coming up. Full recap for the entire tournament will be coming up likely in about 2 hours' time. But with that, if you made it this far in the video, thank you for watching. If you'd like to drop a like, if you realize you're subscribing, tell all your friends, and let me know what you thought about this game. Until next time, see ya.